What's going on? I am Nando.
And I'm DJ.
And I'm Diggins.
And this is Mostly Nitpicking, a podcast where every week we pick apart a piece of pop culture by looking exclusively at the details.
Woo-hoo!
I'm guessing Diggins couldn't think of a fun bit
Yeah,
to do with this. Yeah.
It was like buffering.
No, I did that because you did yours kind of like long and drawn out, so I did mine really long and drawn out.
Oh, man.
Very good.
It felt like you were buffering, and I feel like you're saving face now, and I don't believe you.
No, man, this is what I do every week. I read whatever energy you bring to the intro, and then I just try to exaggerate it.
It's a dangerous game.
Yeah. People that don't know, we do an hour of Zip Zap Zop before every show, just to make sure we got our improv and good to go. And it's just worse and worse and worse every time because we just keep doing the same Zip Zap Zops. Fall into a pattern. No, never mind. I can't do it. It would destroy me. Oh yeah. Speaking of Zip,
yeah. What's the transition here?
Take me there, Nando.
Speaking of Zip, how did everybody...
Shank. Oh, I got it. Simu Liu sure had some zip on that ball when he threw the first pitch out at the...
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
fuck. It was the Giants game, I think.
Giants game, thank you. Giants game.
It was a good throw, a good pitch.
Yo, and then the backflip?
Yeah.
Marry me now, Simu Liu.
Right? He's like... he really put in work.
Yeah,
I don't know if he could always do backflips, but whatever he learned for this movie and like did stunts and stuff, it was good.
I know we were memeing for a while, like, Kumail
Nanjiani.
Hey, you were close.
You. Yeah, I just get flubbed up on that. He gets cast in Eternals, and it's like, oh my god, he has abs now. But like now, I want him to do tricks for me because now I expect it of like my Marvel like superheroes. It's like, oh, it's cool that you like got cut, but now do backflips and stuff.
Right?
That's like the new bar.
Simu Liu needed to get overweight first and be like, guys, and then lose it. And that's when we really fawn over you. Because, he was just always probably in pretty good shape, and then he became in amazing shape, and we were just like, yes, of course. Like all the actors are supposed to do.
I don't know. I aim for the Alfred Molina bod.
Oh my god, that is a good bod.
Are we doing Doc Ock Alfred Molina bod or?
Oh yeah, I'll talk about Spider-Man 2 when he's got the open trench coat and the metal band around his big tummy and his man titties.
Listen, I'll say it. Alfred Molina's Spider-Man 2, it's not a bad bod.
He could get it.
Yeah. I mean, he did, because he had a wife. She got crushed by the metal in his whatever, like, stupid science experiment, but it was going well for him for a little bit.
I thought you were talking Alfred Molina had a wife, and I'm like, oh my god, what happened to Alfred Molina's wife?
He got crushed to metal during one of his science experiments. He loves to do them at home, too. He shouldn't.
Yeah, Spider-Man 2 is actually based on Alfred Molina's life. That's why they cast him.
Yeah, he was like this Otto Octavius couldn't capture the power of the sun in the palm of his hand, but I think I can. Alfred Molina from Fiddler on the Roof and stuff. I think I've got what it takes.
Crazy he decided to use the same metal arms, like he would have been like, oh, maybe I should use a different mechanism. But
no, he had the puppeteers come back too to like stand next to him with like little sticks to make the arms go. I guess that way, but the puppeteers went rogue and became evil instead of just the arms.
Oh my god, guys.
They were like, to sabotage him.
Alfred Molina's wife really did die last year.
No, she didn't,
oh,
really?
God damn it.
Yeah. I mean, he's been remarried since then, but
I'm assuming it wasn't in a science experiment, though.
Well, let's find out.
Oh, it better not have been in a science experiment, I swear.
I'm uncomfortable with this. I don't know how I feel.
It was a funny joke at the time. I stick by it. I can't be expected to know all of this.
Every celebrity death.
Yeah. What did we learn, Diggins?
Yeah. Oh my god, she died of Alzheimer's. This is actually pretty sad.
God damn it. All right, hold on. I know we never edit this shit, but like, I'm not saying we do edit it, but I'm saying we take a moment to be like, that's like serious and sad, and I feel really bad for Alfred Molina, and blame Diggins, I guess.
He's
I think it's
already
Diggins' fault.
remarried. Let's see how old his new wife is before we feel sorry for him.
Well, I mean,
I can still feel sorry.
I guess if he's doing science experiments now, it's probably not great. You know, he should just stop doing science experiments in general. I feel like he's trying to go back in time to kill young Spider-Man now in the movie,
Stop
right?
doing science.
You think it's his fault? Yeah. No one should do them. They're bad, you know?
No one should do
all
any
just-
more science. Just take the
I
horse
think we got it.
dewormer.
Yeah, exactly. If it's for people, if it wasn't for people, why would it be written in English? You know, otherwise, if it was for horses, it would be written in horse language. Checkmate, Jimmy Dore. Listen,
right,
guys,
Joe
we got a
Rogan.
great podcast for everybody today.
It won a Nobel Prize in 2015 for a different version of whatever I took. Oh, I got it from a doctor. Everyone listen to me. I'm Joe Rogan.
I'm Joe Rogan. My brand has been nothing but selling supplements for my whole life. You guys want Mega Brain? Yeah, that's a healthy thing. But this vaccine, no, thank you.
It's a pharmaceutical conspiracy, even though that Merck makes ivermectin. But shut up.
Listen, the pharmaceutical industry sucks. Pharmacists are cool, but the industry sucks. Joe Rogan sucks more.
And also don't take ivermectin, right? You know,
Probably not.
I
It
mean,
doesn't seem like it's good for you.
You are a horse filled with worms. Then do take it.
Yeah,
If
and
you're
a mule, maybe sheep filled with worms. I think it works for a lot of animals that are like that size and build. Don't quote me on that.
If you're a horse and you listen to this podcast, tweet at us. I want to know the entirety of the horse audience that listens to this podcast.
2 stomps of a hoof tweet for yes, you listen. 1 stomp of a hoof tweet for you don't listen. Then we'll know that it's like really a horse. Anyway, what else is up, guys? Guys, we're gonna talk about a movie. No horses. Oh, horses in this. At least one horse.
Is there?
You guys remember it? Yeah. Like first scene, there's a horse. I'm assuming a
Oh,
horse that also
yeah.
a horse that fucking explodes, I think, or something. I don't think that horse makes it out of that scene. All the ivermectin in the world couldn't save whatever Wenwu's horse. We're gonna be talking about Shang-Chi, guys. It's very exciting. It's a movie with fighting, martial arts. Speaking of fighting, you guys, this was my pre podcast chit chat I had planned because this is all I was thinking about today, guys. Have you guys seen the trailers for the new Nickelodeon Super Smash Brothers game?
Absolutely not.
No.
It looks amazing. Oh my god, it looks so good. We're all gonna play it. I do think so. It's like they put like Cat Dog and Reptar and Powdered Toast Man in a Super Smash Brothers game. But today they showed like some of the actual game video and like what it looks like to play, and it's slick. They got wave dashing and shit. It's a very like, it's not just PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale. Although I think
But
it is called like
right?
Nintendo All-Stars Battle or something. Well, it's like it will. Do you ever play PS Asper or whatever it was, whatever the acronym
No,
phonetically
absolutely not.
turns into? It's like there was this
Absolutely
weird system where like you had to get your ultimate attack, and then anybody you hit with that would die. So like hitting people off the map didn't do anything. There was no off the map in Pizzazber.
Okay.
Whereas this just really feels like a Smash clone. But like a Melee clone, the good one. So yeah, it's gonna have Aang in it and all those guys too, probably.
There is 0% chance it's good, right? Like there's no way it's good.
It looks good. I'm serious.
Apparently, the developers who are making it have made like good Smash clones before. So
Yeah, I watched the videos. You can see how slick some of this is. Like, they got guys like Obelina from Aerial Monsters, probably Timmy Turner or whatever. I don't know.
they got SpongeBob.
They got they got SpongeBob. They have a couple Ninja Turtles and April O'Neil. I
Danny
think Cora's
Phantom.
probably in there. Yeah, Danny Phantom. Oh, they could do a whole game of Danny Phantoms and all his friends.
The tough dog from that other show that guy makes.
The Tough Dog.
Yeah, TUFF. Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
No.
So there's the guy who made like Fairly Odd Parents and Danny
Yeah,
Phantom.
Butch Hartman, that guy that
Yeah.
traces things on YouTube. That's all I know about him.
He had like another show like Tough Puppy or Tough Dog TUFF.
Oh.
It was like way after any of us, but like I I don't know.
You're still a big fan. I mean, listen, you can't. You see a good show like Tough Dog. You know who's probably in it too? I bet like Jimmy Neutron's in this or something, or Sheen, probably Sheen. It feels like it's a game made of memes, because like Patrick is in an ice cream cone and stuff. It's all that stuff. Yeah, but I don't know. I think it looks sick. I think we will all play it, and I'm gonna get it for PS4 because that's the system I have. So
you don't have a PS5? Come on, Nando, get into the 21st century.
I don't have a PS5.
Yeah,
I've been playing Ratchet and Clank in regular frames per second or whatever. Just kidding. I've never played a Ratchet and Clank game.
You haven't played Final Fantasy VII Intergrade? You poro.
Yeah.
I've got the confirmed roster for this game up. Do you guys want to hear everyone who's in this video game that we know of?
Let's do it.
I think I know most of them except for all the characters from games I can't, like from shows I just don't know what it is. But yeah, let's go through.
There's a couple you didn't say that I think you're gonna know.
Nigel Thornberry, that's one of them.
Yes.
Right. Yeah, he's in there.
Helga from Hey Arnold.
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
Danny Phantom. I'm just reading the list.
I think Reptar's the only one from that.
That's a shame.
Yeah.
Sandy from SpongeBob.
Right. Karate. Well, I feel like she'd be the best fighter in the Spongiverse. Maybe Larry, but one of those two.
Yeah. Zim.
Oh, of course, Zim, yeah.
Michelangelo, Leonardo, and April O'Neil, like he said.
Yep.
SpongeBob and Patrick. Reptar. Lincoln and Lucy Loud, characters I've never heard of.
Where are they from? Does it say? Or
The Loud
I think it's
House.
called like The Loud, yeah. That's like one of those new ones, and they're in there. I don't know.
Oblina from Real Monsters.
Very exciting character.
Ren, Stimpy, and Powdered Toast Man.
Powdered Toast Man's great.
Can they do that combo where they use a saw, but it's really butt sex? Are we going to get that? You know what I'm talking about?
No.
It's actually bananas Ren Stimpy's on it since like they distance themselves so hard from that franchise.
It's insane. It's so funny that Disney bought Doug, so Doug can't be part of this, because I would love to see Doug fight Ren and Stimpy.
Oh man, imagine if Roger Klotz was in here.
Yeah, and Quail Man. There would be some solid additions.
Is Rocco in there? Rocco's Fire Live?
No, the only three others on this list are Aang, Korra, and Cat Dog.
Yeah.
Hey, you're not going to put Rocco or any of them. Mr. Bighead.
The full roster save the DLC. Isn't out yet. We don't know. This is just what we know.
I think there was a leaked image from the cover, and on the cover you can see all these characters. And most of the cover was like blacked out for a while, so like people are like, "That's probably Ong, like that's like his shape, and that's his stick or whatever." But I feel like most of these characters will get introduced in DLC or something.
Get that money.
They would be wise to. Yeah.
Do what you gotta do.
I mean, like, I feel like there's not a lot of villains on this list. I'd like some villains, please. Like Shredder and the snail from the Rugrats movie in France.
Mr. Bighead.
Mr. Bighead, yeah.
Mr. Crocker from Fairly Odd Parents.
Oh
my god. Yeah, and Jorgen von Strangle, the fairy, even though he is an ally to the fairies. So many good options.
So that concludes our Nickelodeon All-Star Battle podcast.
Great stuff.
See you next week.
Here's a question. Could any of them defeat Shang-Chi in combat? I think a couple of them would stand a chance.
Do they get toon physics? Like are they allowed to use like, because a toon could beat anything, because like SpongeBob could be like literally ripped apart and it's like, yeah, it's fine.
If they were like Spider-Ham from Spider-Verse.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to say they would get something approaching, like Shang-Chi would fight them with the physics of their universe as well. So like for instance, I think he'd stand a good chance against the Ninja Turtles, but like they're pretty good at fighting and stuff. So they might be able to take him.
Aang and Korra could probably win because they are martial artists who also have element superpowers.
Yeah, that's a big one.
They never talk about like if you really took their powers out to the extreme, like any airbender could remove the air from your lungs and just like kill you instantly. But
that is true.
Kids show, they never explore like.
I mean, you say that they
really
never explore anything like that, DJ, but there are waterbenders that can control people's bodies by controlling their blood.
That's
true. They don't do anything fun with it. It's like, it's like kind of scary. Blah, 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 blah.
Man, that show, that writing sucks. Is that what they really say? They're like, it's pretty scary. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, that's a direct quote.
Oh, they gotta get better on that show. No wonder I didn't like it. what would M. Night really have to work with when you get down to it, you know? I don't blame him anymore.
It's a good point, Nando.
Speaking of fighting, and I don't know, bending being scary and stuff. It says like he's not bending, but he's doing like cool magic enhanced karate and kung fu and stuff.
Little bit of chi manipulation at some point.
Yeah, like it's not like what they're doing. I guess like sometimes I want to say he can like manipulate his chi. But in this, it's really just he's got a set of 10 magic rings that can do whatever you want.
Excuse me, Nando. They're bracelets, and I don't want to hear any of this.
Bracelets.
They're bracelets. Where does he wear them? On his arm/wrist. They're bracelets.
If they were on his wrist, wouldn't they be wristlets?
I mean, I used to wear a bracelet on your wrist.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure the technique is called the iron ring technique, not the iron bracelet technique. However, loyal listeners can tweet us either images of bracelets or rings, and then we'll... And horses can give 3 stomps for bracelets and 4 stomps for rings. That's how we'll know if you're a horse. But yeah, we're going to talk about Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Yeah, on the podcast. It's a Marvel movie, you guys. People are going to listen to the podcast. Woo!
Yeah, we're going to get so many more downloads. It's a Marvel movie. Woo!
It makes sense, I guess, but yeah, it's always like twice as many as usual when they make one of these.
I never also, like, looked at the analytics, so I didn't know this.
Yeah.
But also the box office numbers definitely bear out this because Venom got moved up literally because this movie was successful.
That's true. I forget who I was talking to about this. Who was it? Who do I even talk to during the week that isn't you guys? I don't know. I was saying I want to get on a text chain with Venom at this point. You know? I just want Sony to text me like, hey, by the way, it's October 1st now. And I'll be like, cool. And then it'd be like, by the way, November 18th. And I'll be like, cool. Because they can't change it this much. It's like I'm going to a party and it's like, by the way, show up at 6:30. Back door, please. Venom. I'm like, great. They're too much. Just pick a date and go with it. Whatever. It's fine. I mean, I feel like if anything, they gotta change the Morbius date. You know, slip that in today.
I feel
Morbius comes out for one day, and then we all forget about it.
I feel about Morbius how Diggins felt about Fan Four Stick. Like, if I'm in a movie theater and I'm watching it, it's out. But until then, I'm not so sure.
Yeah, I've still never seen Fan Four Stick, which means I'm still not convinced it came out.
That's true.
Yeah, and there's no proof of it existing, so you're probably right.
Yeah, I mean, I think we did a podcast on it, but we've done podcasts on a lot of movies that we actually haven't seen. Isn't that right, DJ? You know, sometimes we don't watch the movie, we just guess. And listen, Shang-Chi, people did see this, like DJ say. It had a bunch of money, lots of money. I saw lots of different numbers. Some were in the hundreds of millions, some were in the 70s. I think some of that had to do with America versus international box office. I don't know. But I also don't know which, because some places just aren't, like, you can't see movies in Australia now and, like, stuff like that. So I don't know how big of a picture we're looking at, but everybody says it's good, except for 20 or 30 YouTube videos. Those say it failed, you know? They're right to say that.
I wasn't even aware of that being a thing, but...
Oh, really? Similarly, was tweeting some of them out and be like, haha, you're wrong. My movie was sick. I made lots of money.
He's great, so I believe him.
Yeah.
Like,
did a backflip then, too. You know?
Yeah.
Everything he does. Tweet, backflip. First pitch at a baseball game, backflip.
He's the fucking best.
If you could do backflips, you would do backflips all the time. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I would, like, backflip down the sidewalk.
Yeah. People would get tired of it. They'd be like, we get it. You can fuck backflip, okay? Yeah, you don't have to backflip every time you, like, you know, get up and, you know, what is this small thing I do in the world? Throw out a piece of trash. I don't know. I'm a good person.
That's not small, Nando. That's saving the planet. So, you know what? I applaud you for that. Speaking
of pieces of trash, we'll talk about this week and what happens. Well, okay. We'll do the IMDb spelled like a B first, and then we'll talk about our theater experiences. But
Nando? Oh my God, I'm so glad. Oh.
I have a long conversation about this. Like, it's a story with a beginning, middle, and end. It's got twists. It's like a M. Night Shyamalan movie. At the end, you think it's over, and then there's 20 more minutes. Yeah,
I can't
it never
fucking
ends.
wait. Oh, I cannot wait.
And then it turns out
but-
the scientists didn't even make the magic beach; they just found it.
Yep. And the coral was actually part of something or whatever, and everyone goes to jail. I don't care if I spoiled old for you. It doesn't matter. It's stupid. That's pretty cool. At one point, they get bonitis. We talked about this already. Who's in charge of the game? I think it's DJ?
It's me.
No,
No.
it's Diggins.
It's Diggins,
unfair
yeah.
Diggins.
I won the game last week because I called him a humble blacksmith.
Yeah, whoever won it last week, and it was Diggins, absolutely, what? Not even questionable.
I will never agree with the results. I will
You win when you
always
win?
say this is bullshit.
Stop the steal, yeah. Oh my God, we got to get the Kraken over here to answer for you, be your advocate, and then we can sue her afterwards for defamation. So Diggins, the control of the reins,
ball's
it's
in
all
your
yours.
court.
All right. I do have I have IMDb pulled up. I have a summary in front of me. I will say this is one of those cases where it's not a single word, but a phrase that if either of you say this phrase, you automatically win because there's absolutely no way you will say this specific phrase.
I wonder if I should just say specific phrases and not try to give a summary to try and game the system.
I think that's a good idea since Diggins says there's no way you'll say it. So put all your chips on green, DJ. Who goes first? I think it's up to DJ, right?
I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to go first.
Okay.
All right.
So Nando can copy me and then win, and then I could complain about it. All right. Oh my gosh. A young martial artist in hiding must face his immortal father, leader of the infamous 10 Rings, to confront his past and stop dark forces from taking over the world.
Okay. I'm going to say it's so hard because we know the secret, but I don't know. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'll just sort of sit there in the beginning. But I don't know what number it is. But the 25th film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, a San Francisco valet parking attendant enters a world of danger and intrigue as he attempts to stop his father, the legendary Mandarin, from using the 10 Rings to destroy the world. Also, Shang-Chi is the master of martial arts. I'm just throwing that in there as well.
That was an excellent play for the phrase, Nando. Unfortunately, you did not get it.
Damn it.
I think I'm going to have to give this to DJ.
Yes! Let's go, baby!
Unbelievable.
DJ hit
Sydney and Rudy, get out here. We're contesting this one.
DJ hit a couple points that I think are exactly in a way that you did not.
Okay.
So I think I'm gonna have to give it to him. Here is the actual summary. Shang-Chi, the master of unarmed weaponry based kung fu.
Hell, okay.
So if either of you had said that, I would have been like, well, you win.
What does it mean, unarmed weaponry based?
I don't know.
That is actually really good. Like, if you count unarmed, if you count being unarmed as weapons, I guess.
What if the weapons used to be on your arms, but then they turn into little whips? Then does it count? Yeah.
I don't know. But, so Shang-Chi, the master of unarmed weaponry-based kung fu, is forced to confront his past after being drawn into the 10 Rings organization. So you see, the problem that both of you guys had here is you mentioned his father, who's not important in this
Yeah,
summary.
right?
Yeah, I mean, it's tricky because, I had a hard time figuring out how to bring the character. Like, in any other movie, it would be like, blank discovers that he is actually part of a legendary blah, blah, blah. But he already knew that the whole time. So I was like, how do I
Yeah.
futz that in there? And I did it poorly.
DJ said confront his past and mentioned the 10 Rings organization rather than the 10 Rings that his dad wears. So I gave it to him.
Smart.
Thank you.
All right. I mean, I'm not going to object. It's fine.
Yeah, because you're not me.
That's what Rudy will do for me via Cameo. I have to wait 1 to 2
Oh,
days.
man.
Yeah. Rudy and the cast of The Office are all going to be sending you cameos, DJ. Whoever else is available. All right, so DJ, you go first.
Oh, I'm honored.
What did you think of Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings?
I I loved this movie. I feel like whenever I talk about this movie with friends or just in general, like any Marvel movie, it's like, oh, how does it compare to other Marvel movies? I'm gonna hold on that because I imagine we'll have that conversation at some point. I will say I think it is a very good kung fu movie, despite that some of the kung fu-ness I think kind of falls apart toward the end of the movie because it's a Marvel movie, which is like fine. I don't think it damages the overall movie. I like the spirit of it. I like the use of flashbacks. I thought all the actors were great. I really do have very few complaints about this movie. They mostly fall into the third act, where I was pretty underwhelmed with like how it went down, but I thought it was like as good as these movies can do at this point, because I think it's hard to like really surprise me or like really shock me or do anything like, oh, that was so great, kind of like Suicide Squad. But yeah, I just really liked it. I thought the storytelling was great. I love the stuff with the family. Like I said, I love these flashbacks, and I thought the action was really, really good, like surprisingly good. I had thought beforehand, like, oh, I think they'll really be able to capture some of the kung fu elements, and they do, except for a little bit in the third act. But yeah, overall, great movie. Fantastic for a Marvel origin movie, and like I don't know where it sits like squarely like overall in terms of Marvel movies, but we could maybe talk about that, or it doesn't matter because it's like a good movie on its own. But yeah. Those are my cliff notes on the movie. If you haven't seen it, go see it. If you're worried about safety things and don't want to see it, that's understandable. Wait for it to like pop on Disney Plus soon, hopefully. Let's soon, like 3 months, but it is like well. I
think it's like
seeing.
45 days, right?
Yeah, 45 days is the
theater
time
release
frame they
window.
give.
So it's not as long as you'd imagine sometimes.
It's like a day one Disney Plus movie though. If you're not like feeling going out to the theaters, so yeah, those are my thoughts.
Nando.
Cool. I pretty much agree. Thought it was great. I thought it was the best Marvel movie in a while that it wasn't about all the Avengers standing in a line and running at something. Like when you get take all those out of the equation and you take out the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, which are also great, I would say it's like one of the best ones. I liked all the characters. I liked all the fight scenes. I liked the music. I thought the Easter eggs were fun. I thought the humor was fine. I didn't hate Awkwafina as much as I expected I would. However, there may have been another character who supplanted her role as unnecessary comic relief. I liked that it was like good. It was really well paced. The pacing was terrific, and I liked the third act as like a. I feel like we'll talk about it, but I think there's different directions they could have gone in, and I think they went about as far as I would hope for. Yeah, I think overall it was a really solid movie that I'd like that I think most people would enjoy. And yeah, that's all I got. It's a good movie. Cool. Diggins, what about you?
I mainly agree with everything you guys said. I quite like this movie. It's I think it being a standalone movie that's really mostly interested in telling its own story and isn't very connected to the rest of the MCU kind of helped me, at least, in my fatigue with a lot of the world building and constant connections that's been going on. So I like that this one is a pretty much entirely self-contained story. I mean, of course, there's the credit stingers that are like, there more's gonna happen and they're meeting these other people, but the actual movie itself is very much just Shang-Chi's story that has very little to do with anyone else, and I appreciate that. I would say I like the third act well enough in terms of its story. I think I do get DJ's point about the way it affected the action, how it became more CGI battle rather than cool martial arts. Obviously, there are still some cool martial arts, but like by the end of it, it's all just people doing CGI blasts at each other again, which is not as interesting as it could be. But overall, I still really like this movie. It is definitely my favorite Marvel movie in a while. Gosh, I think it might be the one I've liked the most since Black Panther.
Wow, that's
what about Ant-Man 2, the one you talk about all the time?
Yeah,
it comes up a lot on the podcast because
you're right.
So much, right.
Ant-Man 2 is the best Marvel movie. Excuse me, how could I have forgotten?
More than, like Ragnarok, or did that come before?
Well, that was before. That was the first. That came immediately before Black Panther.
Okay. Oh, right. Yeah. So more than
I guess like
You're
Endgame
soulless
is there.
you're
The
soulless for
Spider-Man
not
one, a lot of
loving
people don't
Endgame.
love. Black Widow, you don't love Black Widow.
I like Black
Movie
Widow,
where everybody
but
falls really far and then they're okay.
I like Black Widow, but it has some problems that I think this movie doesn't.
You don't
Too
say.
many Black Widows. Is that it?
Yeah, there was too many
like-
female main characters. You know, I really wanted it to be more men because of how much I hate women.
Yeah, I mean that's fair. Well, you know how many Black Widows this movie had?
Just
the
the
perfect
one.
number. Just the one. Yeah, this movie is good. Yeah, I like this movie. DJ, when you saw this movie in theaters, what was it like for you?
Oh, all right. So I'm going first.
Yeah.
All right. So how do I begin? All right. So I saw this with Michelle and our friend Lorenzo. We all know Lorenzo. We all love Lorenzo. Hey, are you guys familiar with like a show? I Think You Should Leave.
Yeah.
No, is that any good?
It's amazing. It's everyone should watch it. Like watch season 1, watch season
man.
2. It's so good. It's so good.
I've been sleeping on it.
Yeah, it's everyone's gotta go see it.
I mean, DJ and I are
So-
always telling you to watch the show, Nando. I think you should really, go ahead and do
Give
it.
it a
at this
shot.
point.
You know what it is, though? I'm really a big fan of like Saturday Night Live, and like they rejected this guy. So like, is he even good? You know? Is
Yeah,
he
it's
worth
fair.
It?
That's
I
super
bad
fair.
language words in my comedy? No, thank you.
So anyway, there's a skit, and I Think You Should Leave, where it's called The Capitol Room, and it's about how this woman who's she gets her money from a lawsuit, and there's like a thing in there where it's like I can't even enjoy a movie without drinking like a big old glass of wine, like
And
do you guys-
popcorn. Yeah, I know
and,
that
and
bit.
popcorn.
And
Great.
popcorn.
Okay, so actually, I need to go back in the story. I gotta go even back. Oh my god. So there was this tropical storm that went through New Jersey called Ida, and it dropped a lot of rain somewhere. So we had tickets to go see Shang-Chi Friday night, ready to go. And we get there, and the parking lot is basically just like a lake. It's like totally flooded. And we're like, oh my god, it's like theater closed. And we saw in the emails, tickets refunded, theater closed. Oh no, what are we going to do? So checking around. And there's a movie theater that's one of those AMC dine-in movie theaters. And I'm like, all right, we'll go to that.
Oh yeah.
And we were like talking about that skit. I'm like, oh my god, guys, you know what would be so funny? Like, there's 3 of us. They have wine at the thing. What if like we got wine while watching the movie, like the skit from I Think You Should Leave, right? Like, how funny would that be? So we did that. So they got wine, like skit, and we're like, oh my god, they need wine to enjoy the movie. Lol. We were just memeing so hardcore. So we sit down. The chairs were like sticky and rancid. They were awful. The worst thing about the dine-in theaters is the waiters come at the worst possible time. There was one point near the climax during the fight where someone came by 3 times. Did you order a soda? No, I didn't order a soda. Get out of my face. I'm trying to watch the movie. And the lights on. People are using their cell phones as flashlights to sign the checks. And like, oh, this was such a mistake. I forgot how much I hate the dine-in theater. And for some reason, this theater is so shitty that from like the left and right, there must have been like some Transformers movie playing, because all I heard the whole time was like bum 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 bum, while Shang-Chi's talking to his aunt, and like they're talking about backstory and all these beautiful scenes with the mom and all this stuff, and the whole time I hear bum 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 bum, because the walls are like plywood thin, because movie theaters suck and they're bad, and Diggins is wrong, and this has nothing to do with the curse of the witch or whatever. Is bad movie theaters make for bad experiences, and they're bad. It's a bad experience all around. I'm so sick of these movie theaters. So sick of them. So yeah, that was my movie theater experience. The wine was pretty good. Got like a pretty good wine.
What kind of wine? Red wine or
It's
white
red wine, yeah. And
Nice.
because I didn't want to drink it all so fast, because like white wine, I just drink way too quick. So it was good. Like if you get like a bottle split between 3 people, it's like $10 a person for 2 glasses. It's basically a steal. Because now you could sneak in a bottle of wine, right? Like how would you even do that? So if you're at the dine-in and there's 3 of you, like getting a bottle of wine just like makes sense.
Well,
so,
DJ.
like that was good. Everything else was bad. So upset.
DJ, have I never talked to you before about the sacred compact between the moviegoer and the usher?
Which no.
The sacred compact is thus: that as long as you exercise the barest minimum amount of effort to hide whatever your food you're bringing into the theater, they will pretend they don't notice.
Okay, Diggins, how Okay, I've done that. I've gone into a theater like holding a Starbucks cup and like not even trying to hide it and like whatever.
Holy shit! What a badass.
Yeah.
DJ, are you sure? Are you sure this is something you did and not something you heard about on like
it's something
Cops or something?
It's something I did.
Oh my god!
Wow.
I have a question, Diggins. How the fuck would I sneak in a bottle of wine, uncork that bottle of wine, and put that wine into receptacles? That's not tenable. Come on.
I think it could be tenned. I think it is able to be tenned.
I feel like they make wine and like all kinds of stuff now. Where like, first of all, you bring a bag. That's the way you do it without corking it, and you'd hide the bag in like your shirt, and then you just pretend you got a belly. And then put that out there, and then just fill up all the glasses or like the cups with the wine.
All right. Well, I'm sorry that we didn't, properly sneak in wine. But
Wait a second, DJ. Have you never had alcohol in a movie before?
No, like plenty of times.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and like beers you could sneak in. Look, this was very last minute. We were like, oh, this would like be funny, blah 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 blah. And plus,
look, DJ, I'm not
we
blaming
had the
you.
rewards for it. I don't want to be shamed. I'm drawing a line here. This is.
I'm not blaming you for not sneaking in wine, but you said you can't sneak in wine, and that is where I must object.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. I will say the point of this story was to point out that the people who trying to figure out fucking checks at the climax of the movie in the dine-ins is like a horrific experience.
I'm with you there.
And
I've never been a big fan of the dine-in.
It's good for certain things, but overall bad. And
great for a Rowdy Cat's performance.
Yeah.
Oh fuck yeah. But also that somehow I'm blaming the tropical storm as well because we just would have went to a normal theater and had a normal bad experience instead of like a dine-in bad experience. So yeah, rant over.
Cool. All right.
Right,
So I was also a victim of this weird flood thing. By me, there was like lots of flooding and stuff. Not by me, like not like in my house or whatever, but like, in the area. So I had tickets to a drive-in by me for Thursday night. And I just assumed it was canceled, but apparently it was not. But I didn't end up going. And then I was like, all right, well, I got to see this movie. So Friday afternoon, I went to a movie theater by me that was like, I went to like a 1:30 showing or something. They had their system wasn't working. So that meant they couldn't, it was cash only. They were writing things down on paper. There was no booking tickets ahead of time or anything like that.
Oh God.
You just showed up and gave them cash and then they gave you the ticket, which they wrote on the back of like a piece of paper. And then they gave you popcorn if you had cash for that. So I went to a 1:15 on that and I didn't bring cash. So then I had to go get cash from a Wawa near me. I get back, and I'm like, well, there's a 1:45, so I'll just go to that one. I went to this movie at 1:45, and it was perfect. It was one other guy and me.
Oh.
It was amazing. We just sat and watched Shang-Chi in peace and quiet, and, like, it was magical. I can't recommend it enough. Go to early movies, guys. It's the best. I did sit next to him. I did a joke, because he was there first, where I sat next to him.
Okay.
And I was like, I'm kidding. And then he was like, that's cool. And then that was it. But it was great. I had a great, it was awesome. So if you can, go to a movie theater after a weird natural disaster where their system is down, because no one will go. People will just assume the theater is underwater, and it's not. Then I went to see it at a drive-in, and I got there super late, and you barely see the drive-in screen. Light pollution, you guys, it's a problem.
Yeah. It's true.
Yeah. But that was the second time I'd seen it, so it didn't matter. A little tricky for Hannah because they had subtitles, but whatever. I think she got most of it. Yeah. So we all thought this movie was pretty good.
Yeah. For my theater experience, by the way, I didn't go opening weekend.
Oh, get ready to
so
brag.
it wasn't a storm.
Oh yeah, you went today.
I went today, yes. And there was a decent amount of people there. Everyone was very kind, quiet the whole movie. The sound level and the screen were perfect. I got a shiatsu massage halfway through with my face still pointed up at the screen so I could still see everything. And then after I left, as we were walking out, they were handing out just like whole lobsters, fully cooked, with lots of melted butter just to eat. as a kind of after movie snack.
Did they wash in from like the shore from previous days? Was it like these were on the highway before, and anyone wants some fresh lobsters?
Oh no, they were imported Maine lobsters, like the fresh catch.
Gosh.
It was very
Incredible.
Nice. Yeah.
If you had a shellfish allergy, they just give you like some cash.
They just give you some $50 bills.
Or were they like, figure out what to do with this lobster? You throw it away. We don't want it.
They had a vegetarian option. Yeah, there was a nice risotto.
Oh, good.
Oh, that's lovely.
Wow.
I'll tell you this about my movie theater, because I did get there early because I was like late to the one I was going to because I didn't have cash on me. 25 minutes, I counted, of pre-show bullshit. Of fucking getting on a roller coaster in CGI and, like, watching the commercial for the Regal Club thingy and watching a bazillion trailers.
Oh, yeah.
So much stuff.
That's a normal amount.
It's
honestly
too much. At this point, we gotta cut the little roller coaster thing and like, at least one trailer. Nobody isn't gonna see, I don't even know what they had trailers for. They had, like, the James Bond trailer. It's like, we know. It's going to be a big deal. They're going to be commercials for watches with James Bond, and we're all going to know to go see it. Like, we don't need to watch a 3-minute-long trailer. Like, I think that's part of the problem. Trailers have just gotten longer. Like, they used to be 2 minutes long, and now they're all 3 minutes long. It's insane. But that was the only complaint I had about my movie experience. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. What is there to talk about with this movie?
Well, I think that we should talk about how good it was. No. So, I don't know, for those who haven't seen it, this movie, what's it about? Well, I'll tell you what it's about. So there's this guy, right? His name's Sean. And Sean is your average, everyman, 20-something-year-old. He's just, like, getting by with his cool not-girlfriend as they're valeting cars and living life to the fullest. 2:30 a.m. karaoke nights, no worries in the world, just living life to the fullest.
I love that we finally have. Is this the first mention of karaoke in the Marvel Cinematic Universe?
Huh.
That's a good question. I
feel like we had pole dancing in Iron Man 1. That was there in that one. Okay, we had robot strippers in Guardians 2. Or no, robot, like, the sex workers, straight up. I'm trying to think of, like, places like that. Maybe you were able to see, like, a karaoke performance going on. Oh man, there's definitely someone that's like, yeah, there was karaoke in that one scene where all the Avengers went and did karaoke, but I forgot about it. I don't know. Do you guys remember the songs they did?
Well, I remember at the end because it's funny what they chose. I don't remember the beginning.
So they do A Whole New World or something.
Oh yeah, they do.
I believe they also do Old Town Road.
Yes, which Twitter detectives have figured out means Lil Nas could not have been snapped.
He did survive the snap, and I assume that means Billy Ray Cyrus also survived the snap.
Yeah, yep.
No word on Miley, but Billy Ray definitely, he made it out. Good for him. I feel like there was a third time. I don't remember what it was. But yeah, karaoke was fun. They park expensive cars, too.
Oh, yeah.
They're probably doing okay, honestly.
Well, I feel like these days, most places that have valets are pretty high-end. So I think most cars you would be parking are pretty nice.
That's a good point.
So, what I'll say about, like, the beginning arc, first act of this movie, I thought the movie was very efficient with its time and pacing. How it took maybe, like, 20 minutes to understand, okay, here's what's going on. Here's how everyone feels about the like arrangement where Katie's like not living up to her expectations and the grandma wants her and Sean to like get married or whatever, and it's like, all right, like I understand what world we're in, and like they're talking to the friends who seem to like have their shit together or whatever at the bar. Like I got that, and then we like jump into the bus scene. And I just felt like, I mean, if you saw the trailers, like you knew the bus scene was coming, but like I felt the way how we got to like normal world to now beginning of the hero's journey was done pretty well. And then like exposition dump, but it made sense. And it wasn't like, yeah, the exposition dump was like just the character talking for like 5 minutes, but at least it was like, all right, we're seeing the action, we're understanding how things play out, and we're getting world building at the same time. I thought like the first act, like I really think like the first act and a half of this movie is nearly flawless, like pretty much perfect. what I would look for in like this kind of quote unquote origin story where we have to establish a character, but also like make an interesting movie around that character. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I want to say I really appreciate the opening flashback of this movie for articulating an important truth about the universe.
Oh yeah, there was an opening flashback. Yeah.
Yeah, with the horse.
Yeah, with the
For
horse.
our horse viewers, they probably remember. They were like, why are you, leaving out the horse. No horse erasure.
representation.
Yeah. Anyway, what were you saying, Diggins?
Yeah, sorry, what was that? Diggins?
The beginning opens. Once the end of the flashback articulates an important truth about the universe, which is that fighting makes you horny.
Yeah.
Fighting does make you horny.
Fighting makes you horny. You fight with somebody, and then they want to marry you, even though you're evil.
I mean, it was a very sexy fight.
Exactly.
They did like a bit where they looked at each other close, and they were like, "Ooh, you're handsome and you're pretty. That's pretty good."
I will say, like the idea that what was the mom's name?
Lee
Ying.
or Ying?
Yeah.
Was it?
Ying is her
Oh,
Asian names work. It's last name then first name as we think of them. So
Gotcha.
They would call her like Li Ying, but we would call her Ying.
understood.
So, she falls in love with not like the Mandarin, but Shang-Chi's dad.
Wenwu.
Wenwu,
Yep.
thank you. I just cannot remember anything. She falls in love with Wenwu, and at first I'm like, really? But I feel like the movie gets to a point where it's like, okay, this makes sense for how all this played out. It's not totally redonkulous.
Yeah,
Also, she's in a weird cult with no people. So she sees a cool guy, and they're like, "Oh, that's a guy."
with way below the minimum population necessary for genetic viability.
Hey,
Yeah.
I did honestly, when I was watching it and they got to that point, I was like, I feel like we're missing a few important steps about why these characters got married. But I agree, as there were more flashbacks throughout the movie and they fleshed it out more, I was like, all right, you've drawn just enough that I feel like I can get it.
so
Yeah.
in general, do you think the use of flashbacks in this movie were good? Because I thought they were pretty excellent.
Yeah, I thought the flashbacks were good. I feel like flashbacks in a Marvel movie are tough because you either do them all in the beginning or you pepper them throughout the movie. I feel like in most points when they showed up, it was like, hey, you thought you knew about the dad as much? Well, now it actually turns out he did Dance Dance Revolution, so it's not so bad and stuff. So, that's they were all right.
Well, because I think I felt like this movie at least used the flashbacks in a way where it's less for the origin movie or for why certain things exist. It's just to tell a story, and it just felt different, and I thought it was really good.
Yeah. I do think the 15-minute flashback where Shang-Chi was a freed slave who got on a ship and landed in the monastery, that was a little much, but I understand they had a lot of influences from the RZA. He had a lot of power over the script, so that's what they did.
Yeah, I will say, unlike certain movies that we did last week, I do think the flashbacks were well integrated into the story. They came at proper beats in the story, where they served as a denouement, while kind of the flashbacks we get early give us the information we need to go forward, while the later flashbacks add more depth and grounding to them. And I think it is really tricky to do that, to kind of dole out information like that in a way that doesn't feel cheap or like you're deliberately holding things back to surprise us later.
Right.
Which I think they mostly do not do in this movie. So it's good. The movie's good, guys.
It is a good movie.
It is a good movie. I did like that he was the greatest conqueror ever or something.
You know what I liked? I liked that a guy got a magical artifact that gave him so much power, and he was just such a dick about it.
Was he a dick, though?
Yeah, man. It seemed like he would just run train on civilizations to own them, and then made a crime syndicate based off of his crazy power.
So, that's an interesting thing. In the comics, the 5 weapons, which is what the 10 rings are here, because, I don't know, I feel like I don't really know what the Mandarin's deal usually is. What his, goal is, besides just killing Iron Man. But in the comics, the 5 Weapons Society specifically exists to protect China. And, they're, the guardians of China. So I wonder, and that wasn't what they did here, but I wonder if it was well, you see, Considering China didn't get completely owned by a bunch of monsters a lot of times, actually, Wenwu's been kind of the hero, keeping the peace, you know? I doubt that's what happened. But, you know, things could have been worse. He wasn't a bad king, you know? Or emperor or whatever he was.
We don't know the quality of whatever he was, like whatever he was, right?
Somebody's got to be the ruler, you know? Somebody's got to do the wars.
Someone has to live for 4,000 years and just, you know, own all people.
Does
or at
somebody
least as many people as they want to.
Does somebody need to do the wars, Nando?
I mean, maybe somebody doesn't, but somebody's gonna, you know? Might as well be. What if he's the Daenerys type, just freeing all the slaves and stuff? I mean, like, he hasn't. But maybe there were even more slaves that got freed that we didn't hear about. In a world without Wenwu, there'd be, like, way more slaves. I don't know.
That's your contention?
Maybe. Yeah, weird counterfactual to go with.
I don't know. I just think it's interesting that we're presented with this character and he was a conqueror kind of, but there's never like any judgment on his conquering. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like he was a conqueror and he enslaved everybody and stuff. It was just kind of like he had the 10 rings and he used them to make armies and gain power and stuff. And I guess then he delegated power to other people because, like, there's no way he was just running all the countries he was, you know, conquering. I'm assuming.
I feel like that opening scene gave us a pretty good picture of what was going on there. Like, I don't think he was this, like, benevolent guy where, you know...
I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like Ying is pretty clear, like, he was a bad man, but then I loved him, and that made him good.
That is true.
But it seems like he was good. And that was interesting.
Yeah.
How, like, they opted to play that, where it's like, people can change, and family this, and blah, blah, blah. Like...
Yeah, we didn't get that scene where he, like, puts the rings back on and she's like, you have to choose between those 10 rings in our family, Wenwu. And he's like, I'm just too much of a man to have a family. It's tough, you know? It was just like, yeah, I put the rings in a little box and I did Dance Dance Revolution, took pictures. It was nice. I was a good dad. And then other stuff happened and then I became like a bad guy again. But also, there was a stretch where he was legitimately being good.
Yeah.
You know? Maybe not good, but like neutral.
Not bad.
Yeah. He wasn't doing conquering. Although I do think at a certain point you do hit like a diminishing returns with those 10 rings. Like, you could kill, you know, like 12th century armies with them by just whipping them through the whole army and they all die. But like, I feel like if you tried to, you know, do that in the 1950s, they wouldn't necessarily be able to kill him, but I don't know if he could like fight all the tanks.
Yeah, it's not like the power got better over time, and
yeah.
I feel like part of it too is like, you know, he got like a really good head start.
Yes.
But at some point, probably the guns he had acquired via 10 Rings infrastructure was doing most of the business, and the 10 Rings themselves is probably like immortality buff.
Well, don't even get me started on the guns, because he doesn't use guns, you guys. He uses weird little crossbows with electricity captures and these little keyblade thingies that also have a little bit of electricity in them. He's gone way off the deep end on inventing his own weapons that no one else wants.
I loved when they showed up for the final fight with those with crossbows. At first, I was like, crossbows, that's silly. And then the crossbows fired like taser nets, and I was like, this seems stupider.
Yeah, like I do feel like if Wenwu, because it's not like he took like, you know, a carriage. He drove his little Jeep. I feel like if he used he had a couple of chain guns on the Jeep, he'd be able to rip through that Talo army, no question. The ones of them that didn't have shields that just had sticks, they would have been in a lot of trouble. But he's too nice of a guy. You see, this is even more proof. He wants a fair fight. You know, he just brings as many guys as you have. He doesn't bring 1 million guys. It's very fair of him. Everybody gets a mini boss. It's nice.
So what, Nando, you're saying that you're adopting a Wenwu truther position in this movie, that he was the secret hero the whole time.
I'm just saying, at no point does the movie make the case that Wenwu is truly the villain. He seems like he was keeping everything in good control. Everybody was doing great, and then Wenwu died, and look what happened this year, you know? I don't know. Do you think Wenwu got snapped? Probably not, right?
Yeah, I doubt it. 10 Rings probably would have...
Yeah, and then someone else would have gotten the 10 rings when he got snapped, and they would have taken over. Although I guess he probably could have just showed up again and killed that guy. Probably would have been Razor Fist. He probably just would have had one big old sword and 10 rings on the other arm.
I was gonna say
Probably.
he can't wear the 10 rings because he's got his dumb sword arm.
You can wear the 10 rings all on one arm if you want. Yeah, you can do Mega Punch.
Or
it's the best way.
Or you could just probably put him over the sword, right?
And that's true. Or they could just hover around you like a little, like electrons.
I feel like
Got a lot of options.
if you wore them all on one arm, I think that would get really uncomfortable really fast. That's one side of your body was way heavier than the other.
Well, I mean, how heavy is that sword?
Yeah, right?
Where is the sword, by the way, on Razor
I was
Fist?
wondering that. Is it inside his, like, fleshy arm?
Yeah, it
or,
goes up to his shoulder or something. It's like, yeah, I don't know, but it's pretty cool. Like, I feel like you would assume a character like that would just always have the razor, like the sword part out, which he does, except for in that moment where he is hiding on a bus, just being in the back of the bus and revealing it, like, dramatically. But,
I want to know,
Yeah.
like, what is the mechanism in his sword arm that heats the blade that without, like, burning the flesh that it's connected to?
Is it, like, super kinetic energy?
or like like a toaster. I don't know. Is it like, I feel like we've seen something in the MCU that's done that, but I can't remember what it is.
It is Iron Man 3, the people, right?
The
But
extremis.
something else, like a specific kind of like sword that you can use and like cut stuff with because it like gets extra hot. So not like the people kind of have that, but I feel like there's something else that does that. I mean, phase 1 was nothing, or phase 2 was nothing but everybody getting their limbs cut off. So did any of them do that? I don't know.
Like Whiplash's stuff?
Oh yeah, I guess it's kind of like that because those just do a nice clean kind of flump.
Yeah.
And he has those, like, he's holding those whips. So whatever that's doing, pretty good. And apparently, in the movie, the 10 rings gave him his plane ticket to get to Monaco in Iron Man 2. So they knew about him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I don't think it's made super clear, but I think we're supposed to assume that.
So what we're saying here is that Shang-Chi is like Iron Man 2 if Iron Man 2 was good.
Shang-Chi is like Iron Man 2 if he had less whips and more swords, and also was almost as good. It's much like Iron Man 2, except it's not as good.
Well, I think if there's one thing we can agree on comparing this movie and Iron Man 2, it's that at the very least, this movie has way better villains.
Just as handsome. Just as good suits.
I mean,
Super good
listen,
fits on those suits.
you can't look me in the eye and tell me Tony Long couldn't get it.
Oh my god.
I would never say that.
He's got those big 90s suits that like cover your whole chest. Those are so funny to look at. Only in that one scene. But then also he has like in the scene where he goes and beats up everybody at that restaurant. Just like, but he has this humongous suit but rolled up to his elbow because he has the 10 rings, so he looks like a kind of 80s dork in it. But he makes it work. I did like how Wenwu had like 15 outfits in this movie. They really went for it with him.
Well, he lived across so many generations that, they really had to.
He even posed like the Mandarin for 1 minute. Remember that?
Yeah.
That was handy.
What do you think of his little Mandarin speech? It's like they were scared of a chicken dish.
Yeah.
Or an
orange.
orange.
So he said both. Like, they named me after an orange or a chicken dish.
You know
I don't
what?
know.
I have a question. Did he have anything to do with the forming of like the character of the Mandarin, or was it all after the fact where he's like, I'm just going to kidnap Trevor and that's that?
He says
It's super unclear.
He says that he had nothing to do with it in the movie.
He even seems to dislike it,
Yeah,
which
he thinks
doesn't
it's
make any
dumb.
sense. Because in All Hail the King, the guy's like, I'm capturing you for the Mandarin. And it's like, he wouldn't call himself that. Do you guys call him something else at home? Like, do you guys all call him the Mandarin behind his back as a joke? Because it seems like he'll kill you. And also, yeah, they're just all over the place with the Mandarin thing.
I love during that speech how Shang-Chi and his sister Xialing, that's it, how they're like giving looks at each other like, oh, here he goes about this Mandarin thing again.
Yeah.
But they haven't gotten that speech before,
I
right?
know, but maybe he said like the basic gist of like, I have lived 1,000 lifetimes and I've called me many things.
I agree. I do think there is a little bit of like, yeah, he does this. I mean, he's lived 1,000 lifetimes, so he's really perfected the speech. Because he even has that bit where when he goes to Ta Lo and he's like, shut up, young man. I've lived 10 of your lifetimes. I'm like, oh my god, this motherfucker. We get it. There's lots of characters that are old. There's a whole movie about people that live 10 lifetimes coming up next. You're not that special, dude.
Did you know?
Get cool rings. Let's remember those.
That in that scene, what he actually says in Chinese is different from the subtitle because he's saying, a like fairly well known like Chinese saying that you say to tell someone else how much older you are than them?
I mean, I know that because I speak whatever language, whichever version of
Mandarin. They're speaking
Mandarin that was, or yeah. So I know that, but DJ doesn't, so you can tell him what.
No, I had
else
no
you know
idea
about
that was the case. Thank you for informing me. How did you know that? Do you speak Mandarin?
Because I do research before we do this podcast.
What? My face.
He says, I have eaten more salt than you have rice.
Ah, that's fun. I mean, I've eaten more salt than most people have eaten rice, too. I'm just an American who salts everything, because we love that shit.
Mm-hmm. Ironically, that means our lives will be very short.
That's true, yeah. I've eaten more hot dogs than you've eaten rice.
Hey.
Holy shit, this guy's amazing.
Guys, I ate like 1,000 hot dogs before this recording, and I think I'm going to die any second.
Well, so did I, but I offset it with 1,000 peanut butter and jelly.
That's what you got to do. You got to bring it, bring it all together.
If you have a hot dog,
the body knows.
I mean, a glass of water,
if that were
7 or something like that.
If that were true, then like Joey Chestnut would have like croaked like 5 4th of Julys ago, right?
Someone did the math. He would be dead already and would have died a long time ago if that were the case.
Yeah. So he may have the 10 rings. Maybe.
Oh my god.
He's hiding them on his ankles or something. We can't see him.
Is there a like Marvel superhero who just like eats things? Like,
I mean, the Blob, right? He's like a villain.
He's gonna say, he's not a hero. Matter Eater Lad.
Yeah, that's a DC Legion of Superheroes guy. So he's as close as you get to that. I'm trying to think of like a one that eats everything. I mean, there definitely is. I mean, that's kind of Venom's deal, right? He just like bites everybody to death a lot of the time.
Like a turd in the wind.
Exactly. Off screen. Because otherwise it would have to be rated R and be cool.
Are you guys pumped for Venom 2?
Let there be carnage? No.
Fair.
Are you?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I am. I'm excited for it, but also it'll probably be bad. But also maybe it'll be good. Who knows? I think that was my dark horse for it will be good. Like in the picks of last year. So we'll see.
I mean, I can super guarantee it'll be bad.
Look, as long as he jumps in 2 lobster tanks this time, then I'll be satisfied.
Yeah. All right. I have a list of Marvel characters who eat a lot. They do exist, kind of.
Okay.
There are dozens of us.
Yeah, pretty much. So Blob's on the list as just like a character. Galactus. That's his thing, right? Just eats and eats. Volstagg, Thor's friend. He eats and eats and eats. Also Thor eats and eats and eats. And like Sabretooth and a lot of those guys that are like wild guys.
Those are just dudes who eat a lot. We're talking about like
it
your
wasn't
power
exactly what I
is
was
you
looking
eat
for,
stuff.
but like, I might be trying to be too picky.
I think then Galactus is probably as good as we get.
Also not a hero, but it's fine. My point was, who is the Joey Chestnut of Marvel heroes? Like, who is that character?
I think that's Volstagg. I think he is specifically known for he's the voluminous. He eats and eats and eats, and he's like he's Fat Thor before Thor was Fat Thor, and it was hilarious. It was hilarious when he was Volstagg. So Marvel has one joke, and it's what if the Viking was larger than the other Vikings? Where are we going with this? Oh right, yeah, they all eat a lot. Pretty good.
Something about hot dogs. A lot of good food in this movie.
Also, delicious.
There's so much good food.
Delicious. Like, all that food. I'm trying to remember. Did they eat food in this movie?
Yeah.
They had that dinner together.
Oh, yeah. That's true.
That was when they have the speech that we were just talking about.
Yeah, breakfast, yeah. See, like, I'm wondering, like, did I see food in it? Like, do I know what the food looked like in those scenes? I can't remember.
There was the vegetarian airline food.
That's right. Yeah. Well, there wasn't.
Oh,
there
right. No,
but
sorry.
There was only the beef. Yeah, that's hilarious. Just great stuff. And I liked that the beginning of the movie was just that Nora from Queen show for a while. Isn't that fun? Anybody watch that show? Where it's just like, Aquafina, you're not living up to your potential. Stop drinking.
Can we take 5 minutes to talk about Aquafina?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So here, I'm gonna say it.
I was gonna ask if you guys squashed your beef with your weird beef with Aquafina now.
This is my favorite Aquafina role ever. I thought it was the best so much. I'm like, this is the perfect energy that she should bring. Like some comic relief, not too over the top, and like good. And I really liked it. I thought she was very good.
I like the end when they tried to establish a character arc by having her tell it to the archery guy.
Yeah, whatever.
And be like, I don't follow through on things, but I should do that. Oh, here's a bow and arrow. I'll do that. No, she was fine. I don't know. She wasn't as annoying as I expected because it feels like she didn't improv as much as I would expect. Mm-hmm. I feel like the Aquafina riffs part of the script is the part that would have killed me, and I legitimately don't see too much of that here. So I thought it was fine. There were the bits where she like said vagina, and I was like, okay. Like, hilarious.
Yeah, like, what are you going to do?
Oh, you know. I don't know. It's like, I don't know. She's fine.
I don't know. What did you think, Diggins? Of, like, her and her character?
I mean, I don't have the weird Aquafina beef that you guys have,
well,
so...
it's like, in general. You can still have thoughts.
No, I liked her. I agree with you. I thought she brought a good energy. She was good, like, sidekick energy of...
I like that they didn't kiss,
having her
and that
around
no one felt that they needed to
was
kiss.
nice to have...
I was, like, all about that.
I mean, yes, that was nice, also. But I was talking more about, like, it's good to have, like, the character who isn't a crazy martial artist to be around for, like, a couple of the fight scenes, so you have, like, the added wrinkle of them needing to watch out for her while they're doing, like, the scaffold fight.
Yeah.
I thought that was...
Yeah.
The scaffold fight
great.
is really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There's so many good fight things in the early movie, and it's ruined later, but it's fine.
Oh my god. That long take where he's like trying to get to her as her little bamboo is about to like crash over. It's like, that's pretty cool. I think
they got me at one point. I'm like, oh my gosh, she's gonna die. Like I really they had me
when
for a
she
hot
died, like Hans Gruber in Die Hard, but then Jolene caught her. I was like, man, we almost got it. I feel like she was like, I think the not problem with her, but the thing with her is like once we got to Talo, I was like, probably don't need to keep checking on her. We could just go do Shang-Chi stuff. Like him and his dad is the part I want to see.
I mean, but like that stuff's always in there, and I think it's fine.
Yeah.
There's much bigger issues with the third act, which we could talk about. But like,
she's the least boring comic relief. I really didn't care for the other comic relief character that shows up. So if she was doing all of that, I'd be tired of her. But luckily, they split it up and gave her the parts that were good, and gave the other guy the parts that were dumb. So
sure,
can't really hate too much.
I do. Oh gosh, what was I going to say about Aquafina? No, my brain.
You now have
her name is
beef
Water.
with her, or not
it's
renewed,
interesting,
but
right?
new beef with her that you didn't have prior. You realize that Nando and I were so right to have our beef with her.
No, it's definitely not that.
Ah, damn. Well,
I don't know. The internet has kind of turned on her a little bit. I've noticed.
We have? No one
Not
told me.
we, the other, like the rest of the internet. Obviously, we were ahead of the curve, but I've heard the internet saying like she's kind of faking the accent and she didn't grow up around it. And it's kind of like her putting on to get cred. I don't know, but it is a thing that I have seen on the Twitters.
See,
so.
I don't know whether to like believe that stuff when it's like, is this a Chrissy Teigen thing where we really don't like her because she was bad, or is this like just some bullshit that people want to make because everyone's trying to pick a fight?
I think it's probably
an actor is performing a little. Oh man, that's crazy.
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the same umbrella. It's like, oh, what's his face lied about being in Kang? Oh my god, he acted. Get the fuck out of here! No way.
Wait,
I can't
what?
believe he acted so
I'm confused
good.
about this. Oh, you're talking about
somebody lied about having sex with Kang?
Yeah.
Oh, who's the actor who played Kang in the
Jonathan
6th
Majors?
Loki episode? Yes,
Yeah.
and he was like, I don't know what Loki is. I've never heard of that before. And it's like, he
to
lied.
To be fair, a lot of these actors don't really read the script and just say their lines and go home and cash a big check. We've seen that many a time. Michael Douglas never watches these and doesn't know what his character did in the last movie. He has to be told that they did a civil war. So
he must be very confused about what if then.
Yeah. Again, he just read the lines and he's like, he goes, I guess this is my character just is this now, huh? Okay. Am I dead? I don't know. Whatever. Like, he's going to have to find out that they killed Thanos in one of these movies.
Yeah, right. Oh, my God.
I had nothing but respect for him. I love it. I love him in... Well, I don't love him in there. I think he's fine in those. I think he's good in them. And I love him in that ad where they say ants a lot. Pretty good stuff.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember what I was going to say.
Good.
I do love... so when Wenwu captures his kids and is bringing them back to his big compound so we can tell them his big plan, I love that we don't see this scene, but apparently there must be a scene somewhere where he's like, oh, who's this person? And Shang-Chi goes, oh, that's my friend from San Francisco. She came with me because she's very supportive. And he's like, yeah, okay, you could come along for our, like, extremely personal family biz. That's fine.
Yeah. I mean he does just want excuses to tell the story of his life to new people. So he's probably psyched that there was someone new who he could be like, I've lived for thousands of years. You wouldn't even believe it because you've never heard of me. And also, the history of the Ten Rings is kind of confusing, but don't worry, it makes sense.
Also, were it not for the fact that this character has already been cast in filming a thing, the fact that she is named Katie and by the end of the movie is a big archery person would make me think, is she supposed to be like the new Kate Bishop for the movies?
That would be sick, but I don't think so.
That would be a bridge too far for me. I feel like...
Why?
Because Kate Bishop's supposed to be like a teenager. She's supposed to be young. I feel like Kate Bishop has to have like a youthful, fun kind of energy that Awkwafina's way too old for. I don't know. That's just me. I feel like Haley Steinfeld is perfect. Because otherwise it's like, we're doing a Young Avengers with like this borderline 30-year-old. That's a little old for... Is she going to hang out with those 8-year-olds from WandaVision in their Halloween costumes? Go get drunk? I don't know.
Fair enough.
I like the Kate Bishop we got.
She's not Kate Bishop, so I mean, it's fine.
Yeah, she's
got some hardline Awkwafina stances here.
I feel like, I feel like she'd be a really bizarre Kate Bishop, but
Nando, didn't you get a trailer for Dear Evan Hansen for this movie?
My god,
really
dude.
Obvious adults playing teenagers is in.
I cannot wait. We got to do that on the podcast.
Nope. God. Not
God.
touching it. It's a minefield and I refuse to touch it. You can do it when I'm gone or something like that. Do it while I'm on my honeymoon.
Oh my god, yeah, we'll give you an episode to listen to.
Yeah, mid-November going on the honeymoon, I think then would be perfect for Dear Evan Hansen.
I'm just going to take his side the whole time. He's right to lie to the family. I think he should do it to everyone that dies. I think everybody, it's his job now to go to everyone's funeral with a cast that says that person's name and be like, by the way, I was your dead husband's friend. And they're like, you knew him from World War II? And he's like, yes. Here's a note he wrote to me about how nice I am and cool. Do you have anyone I can kiss? I'm Evan Hansen.
Did you see how hot the sister was? He had no choice.
That's true. Also, barely legal tale if I've ever seen it.
Oh my god! I mean,
if he's anything to go by, then all the teams will be played by like 40-year-olds. So it's fine.
That's true. That is my favorite game to play in a movie now. It's like spot the 30-year-old teen. Because we talked about this last week, but I watched those Fear Street movies. I finished them the other day. Love them. But yeah, there's some teenagers, and I'm like, that's definitely not a teenager. That one might be a teenager. I just can't tell. You never know.
You know what's really good at that, even though it is doing the trope? Reservation
Euphoria?
Dogs, that show.
Oh, yeah.
Because, like, the character's supposed to be, like, 14 or something, and one of them's, like, 27 years old, and you really can't tell.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, I appreciate it in Hollywood when they do that, because I think it's hilarious. But also, Dear Evan Hansen is, I think it's great. I think he's
it's
a cool
going to be an
guy.
Awful movie, right?
He's a cool guy. He's relatable. He didn't do anything wrong.
Who amongst
part
us?
Of me is like, this will be a good movie.
Who amongst us has ever not pretended to be a dead kid's friend to his family so we could hook up with his hot sister?
And when it happened, we were the victims, you guys. We're the heroes of the story.
I have a question for you guys.
Yeah.
Have you seen Dear Evan Hansen, like the show?
I've never seen the show. No, I don't. I refuse. It was way too expensive when it was playing for me to just go on a whim.
That's fair. So I saw. It was actually. I think it's. Oh my god! I think it's the last. No, it's not the Broadway show. Last Broadway show I saw before pandemic. That was West Side Story. But it was like the second to last pre-pandemic show I saw. Ticket Booth, love it. Go to the Ticket Booth, everybody. Okay, so I will say, in like defense of Dear Evan Hansen, when you're watching the show in a theater, like it plays because like the pathos, the emotion, the music, like everything, like it plays. Like you do get wrapped up into it, and like the plot and premise seems a little less silly. There's no way it's going to work in a movie. There's no way it's going to work in a movie. It
I mean,
just,
it's not,
just will not.
It's not working in the trailers, so I can't imagine all the problems of the trailers will be ironed out for the final cut of the movie. I think if anything, it's like The Greatest Showman. Will the kids love it because it has the fun music?
Yeah.
That sounds like Fall Out Boy or whatever. Like, at what point does its value and like its goodness matter in an area where it's just like people just want to see a musical movie? And West Side Story has that weird kid in it, so we can't do that. So it's this one. This is the other one.
It does? Oh, I didn't know West Side Story was problematic.
Oh my god, yeah. It's got that guy who like Snapchatted the 15-year-olds. What's his name?
I don't know.
The little baby driver. You know? He's bad. He's bad.
Ansel Elgort?
I think so, but I can't remember. What's the other one's name? The other guy who has a similar name to him. The one who was mad that we didn't go see that movie about a golden picture or something. Han Solo, whatever his name is.
Oh, Alden Ehrenreich.
Okay, yeah. So Ansel Elgort is, I believe, allegedly, he's in a spot of bother because some Snapchats or something got leaked.
Ansel Elgort is the one that you're talking about here. Before we get sued by Alden Ehrenreich.
Oh, I got nothing but love for Alden Ehrenreich. I wouldn't mind another. So I thought it was fun in Solo, and I like him in that scene where he does a silly accent to Voldemort. That was good. All that stuff is great. I don't care for... I didn't watch The Finch. I think it was called The Goldfinch or something. I didn't watch that, but whatever. Seems cool. Anyway, Dear Evan Hansen, not as good as Shang-Chi. I'm just going to take a wild guess. The fight choreography will be close, but not quite there. You know?
You can tell that we...
How does he break that arm, fighting some ninjas, I think.
You can tell that we really like this movie because we're just like really trying not to talk about it.
Yeah,
all
can
right,
we shit on
I got a topic. I got a topic area. What did you guys think of in like the underground fight scene, the thing with Wong and Abomination that was like super teased in the trailers? I assume both of you like knew that was coming based on the trailers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I remember watching that second trailer and being like, holy shit, it's Abomination, but he looks like himself. Perfect.
I was like, so then what did you think of like the payoff like in the movie?
It was about as long as it was in the trailers.
Yeah, we pretty much saw the whole thing already.
I know, right?
And also, they seem to be friends, which is weird, but fine.
Yeah,
I'm down for whatever that is.
I wanted to ask you that, Nando, because you're probably like the comic expert amongst the three of us. So what was the purpose of that scene? Like, what is that building to? Is this like a Thunderbolts thing or like a Dark Avengers thing? Like, what is this?
I don't know.
What's going on?
It's meant to make you point at the screen like Captain America and say, I understood that reference.
I feel like it's probably a Thunderbolts thing, but also I feel like they probably haven't decided yet. I feel like it's we can get this character back, and it would kind of be cool. And it was cool. I enjoyed it. I like that he doesn't look stupid anymore. And, he looks stupid, but in the proper way. And I don't understand. What the part of this I don't understand is how this is high enough priority for Wong to be dealing with it. Like, I feel like he's got other shit to do,
Well, hey, how do you think
But it seems like he's like helping out Abomination, right?
How do you think they fund all that sorcery? He gets a cut of the fight.
I guess
how
so.
Can he buy sandwiches?
Yeah, that's true. Well, he doesn't have money, I guess. Like in Infinity War, is like, I don't have whatever. You remember what he says?
Yeah, he's like, I don't have like material.
Yeah,
material things are not necessarily.
Attachment to things is bad, and he's like, okay, I'll get you a metaphorical blah blah blah. Yeah, so it's a great movie. I feel like Wong is probably maybe training him for something, but who knows? I feel like Abomination's one of those characters. Doesn't really do that much. He shows up whenever the Hulk's doing something and punches him. But I don't know. I don't know what to expect there. I feel like it's weirder that there's
something interesting. Yeah,
like it's weirder that I feel like it's way weirder to me that Wong is a celebrity. That there are people who are like, oh, cool, it's Wong. I don't know why I think that's weird. I just don't understand what the sorcerers do in this universe. Like how many people know who they are. Because it feels like Wong should probably still be a secret.
Well, Wong was a critical part in like making the world not die. So right?
That's
like,
true.
Beating Thanos, like he was critical.
But like,
so I guess there being Wong stands everywhere. There's probably Wong T-shirts. Like, oh my God, Wong, love you. It's probably.
I mean, I like Wong. I like that he does this and enjoys it and stuff.
And I love Benedict Wong.
And I like Benedict Wong as well. I do think Wong, they gotta start doing magic that isn't that little circle. I want magic. I want like full on fucking cool. All Wong does is teleport things and stuff. Do some cool shit, Wong. Use the bolts of Baltoom or whatever.
No, the MCU will never do magic. Never.
Yeah, it got close for about 2 minutes in Infinity War and that gave up. And yeah, and then it was like Doctor Strange. In Endgame, you're gonna just be making a big tornado to stop some water or something. I don't know. Go do stuff over in the corner while everybody else does cool fight moves.
There's a solid fight scene in Infinity War where
Yeah.
like, he does do magic, and it's very fun.
It's great. And I mean, we're getting that movie, the Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, but to kind of even, not like spoil, but like he had his What If episode with like Doctor Strange, and it was still fucking laser. Like, it's just, I don't know. Just do a spell, just one spell.
Coming up with like creative stuff that's not energy blast is hard.
Yeah. And, like, I feel like there was a moment, I feel like there was, like, a bit where we learned that Benedict Cumberbatch, the other Benedict in those movies, was, like, learning finger shit, like, to, like, do, like, little, you know, like, the spells, because everything's fingers and saying, like, the winds of Watum and whatever. And I was like, oh, cool, because that must mean they know what those things are, and it seems like it was just finger stuff. I was like, just do finger stuff and we'll make it a sword. Like, I do like that, at least in...
There's gotta be some reason the ladies love him, am I right?
Hey! Yeah. Speaking of ladies love him, this movie is... They got it. These movies gotta be a little sexier. Come on.
What?
You know?
Come on.
It's killing me. It really is. Shang-Chi is the sexiest guy in Marvel stuff. Okay. Everybody's fawning over him. He's hunky as hell. And in this, is just like a schlub. And everybody's like,
"Get out
why
of
do you have
here!"
your shirt? I don't know. I just want some. I want some like. I just want some steam in these movies. You know, doesn't have to be with Aquafina, but someone.
I completely understand what you're saying, Nando, and I actually agree. I read a thing recently that it was this like long essay about kind of a trend in movies movies mainly has been towards like. Idealized bodies, like, you know, people like The Rock, and how like Kumail Nanjiani had to get super cut to even be in a superhero movie, and stuff like that. But they're objects to be admired, not to take pleasure in. And it's kind of like this weird evolution of like the bodies of actors and actresses that we see in like big budget mainstream stuff these days is this kind of like unattainable ideal that does not represent anything you will ever see in your actual life. And so it becomes this kind of like otherized thing where it's like, it doesn't make sense as like a thing that ignites passion because it's so far outside the experience of like what a person would ever experience in those moments. And conversely, you know, in like the 80s and 90s, much schlubbier men were considered like sex icons because, you know, in a way, the fact that they are schlubbier makes them more realistic objects of desire because you can imagine a person like that and being attracted to
Russell's
them.
Kurt and Crow.
Exactly.
You know?
That's sorry, you go.
That's just, it was great.
No, so that was the basic gist of the thing I read. Let me see if can I pull up the name.
I think I found that too. It was called like Everybody's Sexy But Nobody Kisses or something like that. Is that right?
Oh, that is close.
Something like that.
Everyone is beautiful and no one is horny.
Sure. Yeah, that's it.
Where can I find this lovely article?
I'm pulling it up to link to you guys.
I saw it on Twitter a couple days ago, but I think it holds true with all of these. However, like I feel like Shang-Chi is should have been, and could be in the future, the perfect entry point to that, where he is like kind of, especially now where he has like a reputation, where he's like the Avenger that people know about, and you know, he hangs out with Wong and whatever, the martial arts, you know, master of cage fighting Wong. Everybody, you know, everybody that sees him is like, oh, Shang-Chi, that guy's got a hunky face, big old arms, and he's like, oh my God, these women, too much for me. I don't know. It's just like, yeah. I feel like we watched that stupid Snake Eyes movie, and they also had that, and they also didn't do it, but there was a second where they almost were like, this is a thing. They're flirting, and then maybe they'll kiss. But I don't even remember if they did do it. Did they?
No, they have like some tension, but they never even kiss.
Jesus Christ. What's the last movie with the actual kiss? Like full on, not I need to breathe air into your lungs. Like just like two characters who are together and like just kiss.
The last movie we did, or like
last movie we did.
The Man with the Iron Fists.
Yeah.
Oh my God, yeah. Speaking of things that movie's great at.
So, to be, I don't know, devil's advocate, is that a thing that is necessary? Like, I don't even mind the like, because I feel like then the horniness becomes a contrivance, and then you have fucking Rey making out with, Ben Solo at the end of episode 9 for no fucking reason. It's like, oh, he girl, or he boy, she girl, now kiss. Like,
I mean, there was no horniness there, though. There was just destiny making them kiss. Horniness was in episode 8 where he has big old boobs out there, and everybody was looking at him and going like, wow, that's an interesting body you've got there, Adam Driver. But, like, that was almost that. We almost had it for a second, then we fucked it up.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, it's the difference between, like, we were discussing this with The Rock once, off mic.
Yeah.
Where it's like, there are movies where The Rock kisses and, like, has a female love interest and stuff. But how many movies where you can imagine The Rock thinking about fucking?
Yeah. The gorilla has to do the finger, and the whole thing means sex, like, to The Rock, so The Rock even knows that's an option in Rampage. People forget Rampage.
I don't know, why is that a requirement, I guess?
Well, it doesn't have, not every movie needs that, no. But we're talking about how, like, no movies have that anymore.
Yeah, it's like
no action movies. Like,
no action movies, sure.
Like, which one? Give me an example, DJ.
Of a movie with just, like, horniness and kissing?
Yeah, a little bit of horniness in it.
I mean, I don't know, pick, like, your recent romance movie. Whatever your fucking Twilight, 50 Shades, Honestly,
had one of those in a while?
Wonder Woman 84 is super horny. Like that's a horny movie.
I don't know about super horny. Yeah,
it's
fine.
Romantic.
Wonder Woman 1, I would say, is pretty horny.
Demanding of it.
I guess a good highlight for this is, you guys ever watch the 60s Batman movie?
Yeah. Oh
that's
yeah.
That's like a movie that's pretty much directly for kids, right? Like, that 60s Batman stuff is squarely at a younger audience. But
sure,
I have never seen any incarnation of Batman want to fuck somebody more than he wants to fuck Catwoman in that movie.
Yeah, I feel like I think part of it, you could kind of blame it on Disney, but I also think other movies do this. Batman does it all the time now, where, like, in this, Batman Begins and Dark Knight, he's just, like, in love with Rachel because she loves justice just like him, but she's so wonderful. And it's just like, you guys are friends. I think you're all friends. I don't know if you actually will kiss her. You could. That's definitely an option, but I'm not convinced you guys need to. And I don't know, but I do think Disney might be part of it, where, like, even Guardians still hasn't done that, really. Like, and that was as close as I think we had to a really horny lead in a Marvel movie.
I feel like Guardians 1's, like, pretty horny.
It is, but it doesn't, like, cross the finish line.
Hey.
He's just like, hey, she's pretty, and she's like, I don't want to kiss you, which is fine. Like, I'm not saying they all have to kiss, but I agree. I feel like if we had, like, slightly less, like, we have all these Supermen walking around looking like Chris Evans and stuff, with perfect jaws and six packs that are 7 feet tall, and everybody just treats them like they're normal people. Everybody would be fawning over all of them. It would be insane. He can't walk down the street.
Right.
There's that 1 second where the girls take a selfie with Thor. That's about as close as we got to those. I don't know. I do wish these movies treated these people as handsome as they are.
I feel like you could go beat by beat in, like, several movies, but this one for sure, I don't think there's any case for, like, horniness in it. And, like, Simu Liu is shirtless in one scene, but, like, there's not a lot of horniness to be had. Like, and I mean, like, nor should there be, is what I'm saying. Sorry. Like, obviously, we talk about the lack of horniness. But, like, I don't, like, any horniness that would be put in would be a contrivance, in my opinion, for this movie.
Like, I feel like, I guess there's a difference for me between, like, horniness and just general, like, sexual chemistry between leads. That's the thing that I think we're missing. And, like, I think back to, like, Black Panther, where, like, I do know that those characters technically were supposed to be in love, but I just never felt like they ever wanted to kiss ever. Like, there was no, like, he was a suave guy, too, in those movies. And it was just every time it was like, hey, maybe you make a cool prince or you make a cool queen. And she was like, no. And it's like, okay. And it's like, but you guys like each other, right? A little bit. Same thing with Doctor Strange. I watched that whole movie. Watched the What If where he's all sad about whatever. And I couldn't even remember if they kissed in that movie or what the movie even determined about that relationship. Is he supposed to be in love with her?
You're asking me to remember Doctor Strange, a very forgettable movie.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like part of it is that, you know, some of these movies might not be incredibly memorable, but, like, we all saw Black Panther a couple times, and, like, that one we could kind of remember. And I feel like if we knew, if it happened in Doctor Strange, we'd remember it. But, like, in Captain America, he kisses what's-her-name, Sharon Carter, for a second, and you're like, oh, yeah, that's right. He could have done that at any time. It's totally been on the table, and he doesn't really want to. But he did it, kind of, and that is the last we'll speak of it forever.
Yeah, because then he dumps her for her great aunt.
Yeah, and she becomes evil.
Whoa!
Ugh, those stupid movies. I guess WandaVision. You know what? There were some bits in WandaVision where I was like, they're actually kind of like in episode 2 where they were doing the magic show. I was like, well, they want to like, they're gonna go back and snog. That's pretty good.
I mean, that was like romance, right? Like that's
it was both. I feel like there was a little bit of like sexual chemistry there too. I don't think it has to be, you know, The Mummy. All movies can't measure up to that, but I felt like there was just a little bit more. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I do think reading Shang-Chi comics this week has kind of reminded me how much he is an absolute stud in the Marvel universe. Like, potentially the most studly of the characters we have introduced so far. In that, like, you've got guys like Iron Man, but they're mostly tied down most of the time. And you've got guys like Star-Lord, but he's also kind of a doofus. But then you got Shang-Chi, who is competent. He's got it mostly together, and he's a hunk. So I am hoping we get a little bit more of that in future movies. Doesn't have to be with anybody specific. You get Domino in there. You could get, whatever her name is, the MI6 agent that he floats with all the time. Introduce a new character. I don't care. But give it, you know, he deserves it. He's earned it.
Maybe Eternals will give us a shot to be the horny mess that you want.
There were some bits in Eternals, where they had like them kissing. Maybe
they could have had a romance between Katie and Xia Ling and had Disney's first ever openly LGBTQ character.
Oh my god, that would be incredible. Was there an openly LGBTQ character, the Disney first openly LGBTQ character in this movie?
I don't believe so, no.
Who could it have been? Who might it have been?
Unless you think like Shang-Chi or Katie are like asexual, then like maybe.
No.
Maybe Wong and Abomination. Maybe that's
yeah.
It's not bad. That's probably it. That's it. We figured it out. I mean, Wong, yeah. You don't know what Wong's up to. Maybe he's into big giant green fish that are green now instead of pale. Good for him.
I mean, listen.
There's only one of them, and he knows the one. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, good for him for finding one, if that's what he's into.
Yeah, be safe. But, I mean, he seems like he's got the situation under control. Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, that movie was cool. Shang-Chi, man, that was a good movie. What do you guys think of the part where, I don't know, they drove around through a jungle of green?
Yeah, I want to talk about the third act. I'd like to talk about, like, bits of the third act. Or I don't know where it falls, but... I
would say that's squarely at the end of the second act.
Okay, well, all right. So let's talk about the end of the second act and the third act. So we get Trevor. We get the old Mandarin's back, baby.
Yep. Finally. We always wondered. And here he is.
What did you guys think of Trevor?
He's Simple Jack. You know? That's the only thing I could think of throughout the whole movie. He's doing Simple Jack. He's doing his play for his captors. Love it. I think he's annoying, and I didn't care for him in this movie.
I'm with you. Like, I don't think Ben Kingsley really needed to be there. I will say, like, he's a fucking treasure.
Yeah.
Like, I love the idea that he fucking was gonna be executed, and he's like, I'm gonna rip off a fucking monologue. And
I like that he thinks the plan of like all the gags about him were good. I thought it was fun, but they just all didn't need to be there.
Yeah, it was a little too much, in my opinion.
I agree that he's unnecessary. We really didn't need him in the movie, but he made me laugh. I'm fine with it.
Also, him being the translator for a nonverbal character who gives a lot of important instructions is like kind of... It's a choice.
Well, it's funny, because if you buy the Katie action figure, it comes with Morris. And I kind of assumed then, knowing that there was some sort of little fluffy animal thing, that would be hers. Or like it would, bond with her. But it doesn't. Yeah. It bonds with the character who can't have an action figure because he was a secret. But, yeah.
Morris is a Handun, by the way. A mythical Chinese creature.
Yeah, you look one of those up, they're fucking scary. They Disneyfied the hell out of that guy. Because they're first of all, they're mostly kind of like evil. They're little poltergeists. And also, they usually have more arms or something. There's something about them, because I was curious about this too, and I looked it up afterwards, and I was like, wow, that is quite different. But it is cute. And also, all the things in the movie were things, like that weird horse with the dragon's face. Like, that's a real thing in Chinese mysticism.
Lions? Yo, those lions were dope as fuck.
Yeah, the ones that,
he did that one guy.
Oh my god, that was great. Yeah, I did like that.
That was the one thing that got like an audible like oh from me in the movie was like that. Like he hit that guy and he flew and I'm like, oh shit. I was like, that was pretty good. Big ups to BMW, get him to the forest.
So good. I remember when it was in the poster and everyone was like, why is BMW in the poster? Because it's a character in itself. Much like New York, really the city is a character. Razor Fist BMW is so important.
It's crazy how much of a character Razor Fist BMW is. That's got to be an action figure, like some shit. Like,
oh my god. Yeah, Razor Fist BMW as like a 2-pack with a bunch of bamboo, and you can have them fight. If the BMW could crush through some of the bamboo, kind of seems like a tractor could get to the Magic Forest thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Also a helicopter. It doesn't seem like it's that hard to get there.
Well, we don't know. I feel like if you, because it's magic, if you fly over the forest, you probably don't end up in Ta Lo.
Probably some Bermuda Triangle shit, right?
I guess so, but then, I feel like if you can crash through the forest a little bit, all bets are off. For me, at least.
Mm-hmm. That's fair.
Yeah.
What did you guys, think of the third act? Because I think I was most down on it, and you guys were like, no, it was okay.
I think it was cool, because A, I appreciate Chinese culture and seeing it on the screen, unlike you, DJ. But B, most importantly, I think here's the thing. I remember seeing Black Panther, another movie that ends with kind of a what some people have called an extra CGI fight with lots of stuff, and being it's too little or too much. Kind of either have a lot of shit going on with CGI nonsense or have none of it. Where it almost felt like it was kind of dipping its toe. I wanted to see a big giant panther god run through the thing. And I think this movie was on that level where they did more. They went over the top and made two big dragons fight. So I was on board. I would have liked a little bit more of I don't know, lions and Ta Lo defending itself. But whatever. Overall, I thought it was pretty cool.
Okay. Diggins.
I liked it overall. I do see your point about the martial arts kind of fading. I was at the end there, and when they fighting the Dweller in Darkness and everything, that's just big CGI energy fights like before. But I don't know, the fight between Shang-Chi and Wenwu is cool. I thought, where he's incorporating his mother's style into his, so that he's kind of got a blend of the two of them. That was really cool, both in terms of how it was as a fight. And the way it does that storytelling of him accepting both parts of his heritage, and in terms of story, I think I like the third act still, because the emotional conflict is still very much centered on the father, even while we're introducing this new antagonist who's more of just a physical roadblock that we have to get through at the end, which is a totally fine way of doing it. And it allows them to have a more ambiguous end to their relationship rather than just he beats up his dad, which was nice.
Sure.
So yeah, overall, I did like it. It was a little weird that they gave Awkwafina one thing to do, but
so weird.
I didn't mind it. I liked the joke at the end of them talking about everything they did to their friends.
Yeah.
So
that was fun.
It was worth it for that.
What if instead of archery, Aquafina drove the BMW up the dragon or something?
I would have loved
Did
that.
some cool Tokyo drift, like just like really impressive driving, like over little bumps in the dragons and stuff, and then landed in the darkness creature, and the BMW exploded, or it didn't, because they can roll over many times without exploding because they're the safest car on wheels or something. I also think the final fight scene did a good job. I feel like there were cool moments for all the other characters too, like Xiaoling and whatever her name is. God damn it, I had these. Michelle Yeoh's character, like,
Nan.
they all got some cool stuff to do.
Ying
It is
Nan
Nan? Okay.
is her full name.
Yeah.
But as we discussed, Ying is the family name in this case.
And I also like the 10 rings. Just like, I like seeing them do different things in the fights. I like that you can use them as steps, or to do a big old jump, do a mega jump. I think they're my favorite weapon in any of these movies so far. Pretty sick. What did you think of the CGI, DJ? You didn't like it?
So, like, because I don't, like, disagree with any of your guys' points. I just think I felt differently about it. Like, it kind of... I was so enamored with a lot of the fight stuff that kind of led up to where we were that... And, like, yeah, the, like, Shang-Chi Wenwu fight had a little bit of that, but I think the 10 Rings kind of overcame it. But, the CGI monsters and... I don't know, like, I might have wanted to see a fight between, like, the 10 Rings and the people of Ta Lo. Like, that might have been, like, cool, but it's like, nah, we're just gonna fight these CGI monsters with, like, no stakes.
What if...
and there's a dragon.
Here's another thing we could have added. How about this, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's, like, getting beat up by all the 10 Rings guys. This is, like, pre-Dweller in Darkness gets released. And everybody's like, wait, what's that? A rumbling in the distance. And then it's just Trevor riding a whole fleet of fucking Morrises. And they just eat everybody up. They eat all the bad guys like a bunch of little, piranhas. That'd be pretty good.
How did you know that's what I wanted?
Yeah. He could have one on each foot. Like, it'd be flying. Because they have wings, but I don't think it ever fly. Does it fly?
I don't think it ever flies in the movie.
Yeah. So... maybe they could just use the wings for murders somehow, but yeah. I don't know. I feel like the fights between Wenwu and Shang-Chi were the best part of that, obviously. And the first one of those, I think, was the best, where they were in the temple before he crossed over to the big wall of scales. But, I thought it mostly worked. I like that he didn't let his sister die. I was really like, what are you doing, movie? Don't do this. This is stupid. And then he didn't do it.
He should have given her 5 of the rings when he was hanging out for dear life. Like, here, take these. You'll be fine.
That's true.
I was kind of...
because he was hanging on with that. Just like, give her the rings. Give her some rings.
Yeah, when he was like holding her arm, I kind of did think he was going to do that. And because they're both, the kids. And so if they each get 5 rings, that makes sense. But... I agree with you, Nando. I like that, we cement that he's learned, that he's going to be there for his family, which was like the whole thing that none of them had done.
Yeah.
It was a good way to round out his arc.
Also, speaking of third act stuff, that fight between Shang-Chi and Nan also ripped. Like, cool stuff there. I liked all the kind of Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, floaty, flyy. I don't know what that's called. I know there's wuxia, but I don't know what counts as that and what doesn't. But
like the wire fu, kind of?
Almost. Like, I think that's kind of part of it, or like part of what is, right? I don't know.
Wire fu is like a thing that is common in wuxia. Wuxia is a broader term.
Yeah. But I liked that fight a lot, going back, because I saw it twice. So, like, the second time, that was one of the things. I was like, oh, yeah, this is cool. I like this.
How many of the 10 rings do you need to be immortal? Is that clear?
I bet it's 10.
You need all 10 rings to be immortal.
Maybe. Because otherwise, I feel like then you should give them to your wife. You got to split them up, Although I guess you could extend your longevity by you switch year on, year off the rings. Like, you get the rings, then you give them to your wife, and then she gets the rings, and then you live twice as long.
Game the system, right?
Yeah, and then you got to split them between the kids, but the kids need to grow up anyway, but then when the kids turn, 25, then they get to do the trade-off with the rings as well. But yeah, I imagine you need all 10.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I hope so. Otherwise, yeah. You could just give one to Iron Man. Not Iron Man, but give one to, like, Spider-Man. Give one to God, Doctor Strange, and just be like, we need to keep you guys around for a while. Maybe not Spider-Man. Definitely Doctor Strange. But, like, it gives you immortality, but not invulnerability, right? It's like he still needs to block bullets with his little fist when he's beating up all those guys in the in the restaurant. So I guess then it's still like not as sick as you would hope. You could still kill Doctor Strange even if he had a magic ring in his pocket. Yeah. Who do you think would win in a fight, Shang-Chi or Sonic the Hedgehog?
Oh gosh,
Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah,
the super speed always beats out like pretty consistently.
I just don't know that Sonic could deliver any punches powerful enough to get through Shang-Chi's rippling pecs.
Yeah. Also, I feel like Shang-Chi, if I remember correctly in the comics, back in the day, he used to have like a really... His outfit used to be like a bodysuit pretty much. Because he wasn't always modeled after Bruce Lee, but then he became more Bruce Lee in the 80s. And like really did a good job, I feel like, of showing off the guy's figure. And we didn't get that here, because I get it, but also it would have been kind of cool. I don't know. I really want a sexy Shang-Chi in the next one. I want that to be a plot point. I think that'd be fun. Just everybody falling all over themselves.
I don't think we need it. I really don't.
I feel like it'd be nice for like, because I feel like part of it is like a lot of, you know, I've heard a lot of Asian kids of Asian descent or whatever, but oh my God, now I see a superhero and it's just like me and whatever. And I want him to also be like, and I can also be a hunk. Yeah, like a hunk just like me, you know? Get some hunkiness on screen.
Is this like a weird, like, you guys want to live vicariously through your superheroes that you see on the screen?
Yes, exclusively. That is why I watch these movies. I want to kill a dragon, but they won't let me. I keep trying.
Let me kill a dragon.
Yeah, they can't find one. I break all the walls that are holding stuff, and it's usually just money in bank vaults or the zoo. And I let go of monkeys, but there's never a bunch of monsters. Speaking of the wall,
people come up to me in the Dragon Museum and say, "Can I kill the dragon?" But they won't even let me kill the dragon.
Yeah. Speaking of the wall, I have a question about the wall.
What's up?
She never told him about the wall?
The Pink Floyd movie?
Yeah. Anyone watch that at some point?
It's
pretty good. Yeah. No, like at no point was she like, he was like, so what do you guys do in your town over 8 years of their lives? And she's like, oh, by the way, it's actually pretty cool. There's a big old monster that lies to you. Trapped. So whispers lies. Anyway.
Maybe part of the they're not allowed to be there thing is she's not allowed to tell him about the village.
That's fair. She should probably tell him. It seems important. But hey, what do I know?
Yeah, right.
Who else do you think that's tried that? It says it like gets powerful people. It's like attracted to power. I think like Iron Man for a second was also like, wait, who's alive?
But like you would have
Shang-Chi's mom. I gotta go save her.
It seems like you need like a conduit to be able to do that, because like the demon was using the rings, right?
Well, that's never
I feel
made
like
clear.
it was just attracted to him because he had the rings. Like he was a candidate.
Also, the rings seem to be able to punch through. Maybe only certain artifacts could punch through. We're gonna learn so much about this in like future movies.
Oh my god!
Because there was we should talk about the at some point. Yeah,
we'll talk about that post-credit scene. Well, real quick. What else was in here in this movie? Is there anything else we forgot in like the movie part of the movie?
Yeah,
the Marvel post-credit scenes.
I don't think so. I think we captured everything. It's actually I think one of the good things about this movie is like it's relatively simple in its execution. Like, we go to a place, we learn a beat, there's a flashback scene, and it's kind of formulaic that way. And I don't mean that in a bad way, because I think it helps the movie easier to follow.
Oh, man.
Especially for, like, a smooth brain like me.
A Marvel movie's formulaic? That's crazy.
But, like, I feel like this one was, like, just, like, formulaic in... Not by Marvel movie standards, but by, I don't know, like
Joseph Campbell standards?
It's like a Kung Fu movie. Like, I buy this as a Kung movie. I buy it way more than Black Widow as, like, a spy movie. Like, even if you tell me that Shang-Chi's a Kung Fu movie, I'm like, yeah, I'm down. Maybe not so much in the third act because CGI monster, but besides that, like, yeah, I totally buy it.
I feel like, I think it is formulaic in terms of, like, it follows structure more than a lot of the other rest.
Yeah, maybe that's a better way to call it. It's structured.
Yeah, and I think that's good. And I also think it's interesting because, like, I remember, you know, you go back to some of these Black Widow maybe not as much, but a lot of these Marvel movies, you go back and you're like, oh yeah, that scene wasn't in the movie. That scene wasn't in the movie. I guess they cut this. Most of the stuff from the trailers was in the movie. Like it felt like you would start a scene, right? First they you had the backstory of Wenwu, and then they go hang out and do karaoke, and then boom, we're on the bus doing a fight, and then right after that, she's like, we have to go. Or he's like, we have to go to Macau. And then it's like, boom. And I'm like, oh, we're at that fight scene in the cage fight. And then you're like, oh, we got to run away. And you're like, oh, we're in that fight scene outside the building now. Like, we were really, there was a while where we were moving at a clip that was very good. Like, yeah.
And in fairness to the movie, I felt there was like a lot of stuff that was not in the trailers that was still fulfilling, like, in the movie.
Oh, yeah.
Like, the big bad wasn't in the trailers. Like, it was pretty good.
You mean the
Dweller Razor Fist was in most of the trailers. He was in almost every trailer.
No, I guess I watched the wrong trailer.
But you know who wasn't mostly in the trailers? Razor Fist, the BMW.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. The character is never named Razor Fist. The BMW is named Razor Fist, and we just assume it belongs to Razor Fist. But you never know.
Well, you know how this goes, Nando. People are not allowed to have their comic book names. It's too silly.
That is true. I mean, it is interesting because Wenwu is a mashup of the Shang-Chi's dad, who used to be, what's his name? He used to be Fu Manchu, but then he isn't anymore. And the Mandarin, who is also super confusing and weird. So they really pretty much made a new guy.
Well,
he's cool.
For Fu Manchu, they lost the rights to that character, and then also that character is a super racist stereotype, and then also the Mandarin is a super racist stereotype. So you really kind of had to go back to the drawing board no matter what you were doing.
Well, the thing about Fu Manchu is they were like, oh my, it's like he's the fiendish guy from all the old books, and then they threw him in the Shang-Chi story, and then they were like, oh yeah, this kind of works. This will make Shang-Chi palatable. And then they lost the rights. They were like, well, we'll just call him something else. He'll be Zhang Zhu. And then, but it's pretty much, that character might as well just be, Fu Manchu. He looks just, it's not that much different about him. So it's like, it's less racist because it's technically not that one racist caricature. But if you're like trying to spot the difference between all those portrayals, it's probably not that much difference. Although I will say, I think that I think Wenwu is dope, and Tony Leung is very cool. It's just good to hire actors who don't have to fucking do martial arts. It's so good. I assume he knows, because he was in Hero, and he did a lot of cool stuff in there.
Yeah. Tony Leung is a prolific Chinese actor who has done lots of like Chinese martial arts movies.
Yeah.
This is his first American movie ever.
I saw that in an interview, cool. And I was like, "Aw, that's cute." Like, the way he said it, I was like, oh, yeah, that's good for you. You get to be in a Marvel movie.
Like, he was excited.
It just feels like a thing where you're like, just expect everyone's done one, Like,
sure, yeah.
Everyone's been pulled into something like this before, and you've been in, Iron Man, or Transformers, or whatever, but, yeah.
You're the guy who tells Spider-Man to do a flip. Yeah,
Oh, that guy, God damn it.
I wanna shout that guy out. We talked about how much he can't act in Most Dangerous Game. Which I stand by. He's very bad in that movie.
Absolutely stand by. He is not good in that movie.
But I did enjoy his little joke role in this one.
Yeah, I didn't mind it either. I in the beginning, I was like, this is weird, but then you kind of figure that's the plot point that gets him into the fight, so it's not that big of a deal. And most of his lines were kind of cute, talking about how they don't let him drive buses and stuff.
I was going to say... Like, at first we have him just, like, he starts the live stream, hey, it's your boy, and I'm like, haha, that's a funny joke that, like, is obvious. And then you get to, bus driver's out. I'm not gonna help, because everyone gets mad when I drive buses. It's like, this character is suddenly a much more specific person.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Is he responsible for some bus disaster in New York, and he's currently on the run in, like, it's, San Diego? Is that where this takes place?
San Francisco.
Or San Francisco? Right. Because, like, he is a food truck operator in Spider-Man a couple of years ago. It doesn't seem like a job you leave and just go to another city unless
maybe it's
the hot fuzz is after you.
Food truck.
Well, yeah, a food truck is, by definition, a very portable job.
Well, any food truck, sure. But a New York hot dog truck is not the kind of truck I assume travels super well to, like, other locales that don't accept disgusting hot dogs as food. Not that, I mean, we've talked a lot about hot dogs in this episode. We have a lot of things to say, but...
That's true, we have.
Mm-hmm.
Is
you
this
think
our
Shang-Chi
most...
eats a good hot dog every so often?
Is this our most hot dog-filled episode ever?
Too fit, I think.
I feel like he could eat one. It might be our most hot dog-filled episode. I feel like Ghostbusters probably will have some hot dogs, right? Slimer usually eats, like, hot dogs and stuff.
They use it... Twinkie was the metaphor.
Well, the Twinkie is the metaphor, but I want to say Slimer specifically, like, loves to chow down on a nice hot dog.
I was thinking, like, he's holding a hot dog. I was like, no, he's holding a Twinkie.
Oh. But then we also have Sonic the Hedgehog ate some chili dogs, did a big fart that one time.
That's true. Yeah.
Hot dogs in there. Yeah, that's the only ones I can think of. I feel like there's probably more. I enjoy a nice hot dog from time to time.
I take it or leave it, honestly. I'm like, it's fine.
I think they're quite situational. Like,
Yeah,
if I'm
at
at a football game or baseball game, yeah.
Yeah.
Hot dog's perfect.
Like, definitely.
And a corn dog at a boardwalk or something, absolutely love it.
I don't like corn dogs at all.
I like a couple hot dogs for lunch every now and then.
Yeah. Oh my god! And if you guys come up to Jersey, we'll go to a Rutt's Hut. Nice deep fried dogs. I know it sounds disgusting, but yeah, it's delicious. It's the best thing in the world. I hope they're still kicking. I imagine they are because they make hand over fist money. Just because they're known far and wide. Anyway, Shang-Chi post credit scene.
Yeah.
Wong, an alcoholic, I assume. Just based off of he goes to their table, just steals the drink off the table, just chugs it real quick.
Well, I think it was to prove a point that lady was like, "You're a liar," and like, no, he's not. He told the truth.
I guess. Yeah, they go to his house. They go to the Sanctum Sanctorum. Doctor Strange is not there. Mm-hmm. This is not that level of importance, I guess.
Well, he's busy with Mephisto. I mean, helping Spider-Man.
And being Mephisto himself. Ooh.
Whoa.
Mephisto's going to be the greatest MCU red herring ever. It's just...
I mean, I think they totally should do it eventually, but I don't think they can because China doesn't like that. China hates the devil as a thing that...
Why? Because it implies Christianity's a thing?
I don't know, maybe. But it censors... I believe censors are pretty tight on stuff like that and witchcraft and stuff like that. So it's unlikely the Mephisto will be in a movie. Maybe in a TV show, though. But yeah, so they go to the Sanctum Sanctorum and have a little chat with Wong. What do they talk about in the chat?
Wong's like, yo, these 10 rings, crazy.
Pretty weird.
We don't even know what's going on.
And that's pretty much it.
Yeah, he's like...
There's something about energy and a beacon. It's like, oh, hey, it's Captain Marvel and the Hulk. What?
The Hulk, except he's a human again and not Professor Hulk.
Yeah.
Broken arm or some
what's
shit.
up with that?
Maybe it takes a lot of energy. Imagine how much the Hulk needs to eat. At some point, okay, I gotta go back to Banner so I can eat normal.
He's definitely a big eater. He probably would crush a hot dog cart. Maybe that's what happened. Maybe he ate Zach Cherry's character out of House and Home, and he retired to San Francisco to be a live streamer.
But he's only he's only eating regular tacos in that one Endgame scene.
That's true, and he gives one of them up. I mean, the Hulk is like powered by death. He's got a lot of weird connections to bullshit.
Well,
so he doesn't even need to breathe.
So maybe, the Hulk couldn't fuck. So how about that? Maybe
I mean, the Hulk tried as hard as he possibly could in these movies. We're like, no, the Hulk is not allowed to fuck. He has to be sad, and he has to have a heart rate monitor. No. And I was like, come on. He wants to so badly.
Please.
Please, pretty please. He's a scientist. He's a nerd. What if we get a new actor? Please, will you let the Hulk fuck? The answer is no.
We just want so badly for the Hulk to fuck.
Yeah, what if the Hulk and Captain Marvel were in the same room and they had just gotten down to business and they're like, let's go on separate hologram thingies. Trying to trick him into thinking we're not together. But if you really pay attention, she's wearing his shirt. Or he's wearing her bomber jacket. It's aha.
It's what were you guys doing? Nothing.
You
guys are so nosy.
Vibranium stuff. But yeah, so they say that the rings are very old.
Yeah.
And probably from space or something.
They're not vibranium.
And
which is the new answer for is it vibranium? Oh, okay.
Yeah, right?
Is this table vibranium? Oh, okay.
I feel like we probably have other characters that we can call for vibranium questions that aren't the Hulk, but whatever. He's available.
It's everything's science with you people. God.
Yeah, I do feel like vibranium. I agree, though, in the Eternals trailer and in this, it's there's other things this can be. Let's call them some of those things or whatever. We used to name drop things into the future. You know, it'd be like, this is a vibranium shield. And it'd be like, ooh, like from Black Panther, a movie that isn't even on the schedule yet. And now it's like, it's a vibranium shield like Black Panther, that movie you already know. But like, I feel like Captain Marvel should have been like, it's not Shi'ar technology. And we'd all be like, holy shit, like from X-Men, but whatever.
It's not adamantium. Adam, what?
Yeah.
I was gonna say, yeah, they could start name dropping adamantium now.
Well, adamantium is just an alloy of, adamantium is an alloy of vibranium, I think. Or vibranium is an alloy of adamantium. Like, they're pretty much the same thing.
It's probably the other way around. I think adamantium's an alloy of vibranium. So vibranium's a naturally occurring material.
You'd say, yeah, that would make sense. Yeah, and I think it's like steel plus vibranium makes adamantium, which is like, why bother?
Yeah.
Vibranium's pretty cool. It's like a guy at fucking Canada being like, no, sorry, we can't fill this guy with vibranium. We need some Pennsylvania steel. We got all this steel taking up space in the garage. Let's try to throw some of that into the Wolverine juice.
That would be sick.
But yeah, so I don't know. What do you guys think these will eventually be?
I was gonna ask you because I have zero idea.
Toenail
like,
clippings from Galactus or something. No, I don't know. I mean,
Fan 4 sticks something. I don't know.
Could be. You could have that. They could be like Galactus's. They could be, you know, a Nihilus or one of those space bad guys. I feel like we've met a lot of the space bad guys, but
I think they.
Could it be like
I think the 10
Eternals
rings.
bad? I don't know.
The 10 rings are Reed Richards.
oh my god, that
solid
makes
theory, bro.
sense. He's not vibranium. He sends signals all the time.
Exactly. He's also not an alien.
That's true. And thank God he's not John Krasinski. He's a bunch of rings, so that actually is better. I hope they're able to fill out the rest of the cast in a way that's interesting. But right now, 10 rings, a good start. Now, but in the comics, the 10 rings are like completely different, but they're still like alien artifacts from the McClellan or whatever aliens that are what Fing Fang Foom is. So they'll probably be that, but who knows? Or Celestials. I feel like Celestials might end up being the answer to a lot of things in space. So like if Fing Fang Foom does show up, he'll be a Celestial. So probably that.
Okay.
Do our characters know what they are yet? Have any of them talked about Celestials together? Because like Peter knows what they are, but I don't think any other character has. Like he didn't sit down with Doctor Strange and be like, by the way, here's some stuff you got to worry about: Celestials, the Gold People, a duck. They're all in my movies and they might show up here, so watch out. End of story. Also, I don't know, a Crystal Man, Sylvester Stallone, Miley Cyrus is a computer. A lot of stuff happened in that movie everybody forgot about. Yeah, I don't know. So that's probably him. What'd you guys think of the second post-credit? Oh, wait. What'd you think of the part where they got drunk with Wong? That was cool.
Hell
Penguins
yeah.
karaoke, fucking phenomenal. Loved it.
See, like, where all the sexiness has gone, we have added stuff like this that makes all the characters fun and likable and relatable, and I love this. I'm not saying it has to be one or the other, but, like, I don't know. It feels like it should be one half of, like, part of the same coin, where it's like they're relatable and they're a little sexy, but... Yeah, I do think that joke really worked where he's like, you should go home. And then Awkwafina makes that face. Hard cut to... I like... You know what it is? Yeah. I like jokes with editing. I feel like we need more of those. A lot of like... I mean, we got that one a little bit with the beef that wasn't that great. But like, stuff like that is really funny if done properly.
Yeah, I'm with you.
But yeah, what do we think of the second post-credit scene? That Dickens did see because he's not an amateur.
Yeah, why don't you talk about that, Diggins, because you're not an amateur.
Wait, did you not see the second post-credit scene?
No, I did, but it was
just in our text chat,
yeah.
I know, but I was wondering why you guys were making such a big deal about it and telling DJ to say it.
Because honestly, for a second, I forgot what it was. I know I saw it twice, but I was like, it wasn't that one with all the other characters, so it was probably something else, and then I remember.
I felt like you were clowning on me.
I was clowning on you a little.
Well, this is your punishment then for clowning on me.
Oh my gosh. Go punch a stick 1,000 times and whatever. And get beat up with sticks.
Dead in the nerves in my hands so I can punch better.
Yeah. Which is helpful if you have to... You know that bit where he gets thrown out of the bus and he lands on the bus? He gets thrown through a window. If the window breaks, he just holds on to the bottom of that window. Yeah. That is just nothing but cut glass. His hands are bloody messes. He's going to need to be the next Razor Fist.
Like, based on what his dad made him do.
Right, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. The point of, like, doing that, like, punching a pole over and over again is to like deaden the nerves in your hands so that like when you punch things, it doesn't really hurt.
That's pretty cool.
Anyway, the second post-credit scene is we see Xialing, the Shang-Chi sister, is kind of hanging out in the compound, their dad's old compound. And then she like goes into a room with Razor Fist and a bunch of his other old minions, and sits in a chair all cool like. And then we zoom out and see that she's turned the whole compound into graffiti town like her fighting ring, and also girls get to be cool fighters now. And then it says the 10 rings will return.
Girls get it done.
I think that's a lie. I feel like that is probably... We'll probably see that character again, but I feel like that is a tease for a movie that we will not have time for.
Really?
I just don't... Like, what are they going to return as? What were they ever? The 10 rings were nothing. They were just a bunch of bad guys with a little tattoo. Like, it was mostly the guy had actual physical rings. That was the cool part. How many evil secret organizations are there in the Marvel Universe now? Like 100. They must bump into each other all the time. What are you, Hydra? We keep still doing Hydra? I guess.
They're going to appear in the Peggy Carter show as the other shadow organization that she has to fight.
Yeah. It's fine. I mean, it's yeah. I like that actress, whatever her name is. I know it, but I don't know how to pronounce it, even though I looked it up, but I'm still not sure. It's like Mengar Zhu or something.
Mengar Zhang.
Zhang, yeah. But it's like Meng and then the because like Simu Liu put out like a tweet that was just like, here's the phonetic pronunciations of all the actors in this movie. And those are helpful a little for me. But usually what I do to figure out how to pronounce an actor's name is just find an interview with them where someone says their name. And there's a million interviews with her because they had her do some sort of virtual press junket, but none of them say her name. None of them like say it. They all just start and they're like, here we are with her. And I'm like, oh, they didn't know how to say it, so they waited for someone else to say it. And nobody did. It's not helpful. But yeah, I thought she was good. I'm really impressed. You gotta get the guys that can fight in real life, and it looks so cool when they do it in the movies. It's so good.
Well, like, I wonder how much of the fight scenes was like the director got to decide versus Kevin Feige being like, these are your fight scenes.
It seems like a lot of the
I'm sure the last one was, but, you know.
I looked at a behind-the-scenes thing, because they had a lot of good stunt choreographers and stuff, and I saw a thing where they were talking about the bus fight, and it does seem like they planned it out a lot, where they were like, this is a thing he can use on the bus, so let's put this in, have him slide on this pole and whatever. But I mean, there is a fair amount of CGI and like fancy camera stuff, so it's not like you can like improv it necessarily, but it does feel like it was choreographed by... It was definitely choreographed by stunt choreographers, which is good.
Yeah, it's the best.
Also, that character is also not in the comics. A lot of these characters aren't in the comics. Shang-Chi's just got a bunch of sisters and stuff, but none of them are her. So you never know what that character's going to be up to. Maybe she'll be Kate Bishop.
Maybe they'll all be Kate Bishop. Maybe the Young Avengers will be nothing but Kate Bishops.
That'd be pretty good.
You know, I could see the like Awkwafina's character is like a what if Kate Bishop, like down the road.
Yeah, maybe.
It's like, oh, that would be fun.
I feel like she will. I could see what if with her. I mean, it'll just be like, what if she took over the 10 rings? Maybe, I don't know. I don't even know what she could do. What if she got vegetarian food instead? And she had stuff. She had food poisoning. Wasn't in the movie.
I do think a really good thing about this movie is it opens the door to like a lot of other stuff that could happen in the future, which I think overall is good.
No, that is like the Marvel subheading of movies. Marvel Cinematic Universe. This movie opens the door to a lot of other things that could happen in the future.
I don't know, like good things. Like,
yeah.
Like I don't think it was like the super cheap, which I think helps.
No, yeah, I think
lower cynicism. You know,
I think this movie
from the Diggins is out there.
I think this movie builds a lot of good things for the future by way of making a good movie that has characters I like, and that's the way I don't mind.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Fair.
I don't know. It was a fun movie. What do you think? Any idea what they're going to do with the next one? Where would you put this guy?
He's got to be in our like, oh god, everyone's gone to space and there's some Earth bugaboo. Let's go get the Earth dwellers, the Shang-Chis and the Spider-Mans and although he goes to space now, so the Shang-Chis and the I don't even know. Hulk.
Blade.
No, he goes to space. It might just be him. He might be
Blade,
the new
Moon
Earth
Knight.
Defender.
I mean,
Blade, Moonlight, Shang-Chi. They could do a new Defenders.
Yeah, we could do like the whatever they're called, Midnight Suns or Marvel Knights or whatever. Those are a thing.
Yeah.
I feel like there's usually Shang-Chi has been an Avenger a bunch.
Mm-hmm.
Like he is. That is. I feel like with that character in the 70s, they were like, this guy kind of works. Let's see where we could put him, and they put him everywhere. And he used to be like he was on Atlas, which was a whole different thing. Where Jimmy Woo was James Bond. He was on the Avengers. He was in something else. I can't remember what. I feel like there's room for this character to go, but a lot of his stuff is like, my dad is evil, and I don't know if I'm going to be like my dad. Maybe I'll take over the family business. Maybe I won't. And I feel like now he hasn't done that, so.
Oh, man, I got a pitch for you. So if we could go with like Shang-Chi 2, excuse me.
The Legend of the 11 Rings, yes.
The Legend of the 11 Rings. And we can get some kind of micro-level issue, because I don't know, I think those movies could be good. Like, we keep it a little more grounded.
Send
like
him into the quantum realm?
Quantum realm it is.
Teeny tiny Shang-Chi.
No, I think that we like have him like argue and possibly fight with his sister, because maybe he doesn't agree with the direction that his sister's going in with the whole 10 Rings deal. So I think that could be a very interesting movie. Kind of like, I think we're going to see like Mandalorian season 3, where it's going to get to like, how do we deal with like all these power grabs? And, you know, Mando's like not going to want to be a part of it, but he's going to have to be. And I think you do a similar thing with Shang-Chi that could be like pretty compelling. That'd be my pitch for it too. I
could see that. I feel like it depends, because I can never tell with these movies if it takes place in like 5 years how much any of the rest of this shit is going to matter, because everybody's going to be in fucking, you know, Secret Wars or whatever, and then they're going to be out of that and fighting robots or whatever. But I do think the next movie is going to have family members coming out of the woodwork or something. I'm another sister you didn't know about. Yeah, I feel like that's going to be it.
Well, if your father is 4,000 years old, I guess the children would have to. Never mind.
Yeah, they'd all be like 100-year-old men and like, hobbling up with their canes and walkers.
The dad's only 1,000 years old.
I thought he was 4,000 years old.
No, he says my dad had these rings for 1,000 years.
Oh, I thought it was longer. My bad.
I feel like there is precedent for both of those. I want to say in the comics he might be older than 1,000 years. But, so maybe it's both. Maybe he had other rings that got him for the first 1,000 years, and then another set of rings.
At one point, do they like, these rings are like 4,000 years old? They say that in the post-credits scene.
They say it's way more than 1,000.
Okay. Yeah. And then Katie's like 4, and he's like, yep.
Fucking 4 for sure.
At least 3.5 times as old as 1,000. You'll never believe it. Dinosaurs used them. Yeah, I feel like I do think it's going to be... Because I think you could do that with like, the family is, you know, everybody wants the 10 rings, like not the rings themselves, but like the, you know, the crime syndicate. So now all the other children are popping out and they're trying to take it from Xiaoling. I don't know. Yeah. That'll probably be it. That or the dad is a ghost now. They do that a lot too. But
that could be fun or something.
I liked him a lot. Like, I think it would be great if we just left him here forever. But also, maybe he can be in a mirror like in Spider-Man and just be like, Harry, avenge me. Spider-Man killed me. I'm a liar. I don't know where this information is coming from. I was watching that the other day. Yeah, everybody's talking about Spider-Man again. Remember the bit where the guy's like, with the old man, it's like, Harry, I treated your father's wounds. He stabs himself with his own glider. No shit, Spider-Man doesn't have a glider. Of course it was his glider. What do you think happened? Oh, no, Spider-Man brought a glider and he left it. Also, you're about to get stabbed with your own glider at the end of this movie. You could be stabbed by someone with the glider. They just have to pick it up and throw it at you. Stupid movie. Nah, it's pretty cool. We all changed our tune and we like it now.
I feel like if we do Sam Raimi trilogy before Far From Home, or No Way Home, sorry, like Whatever. We were talking about, I don't know this because I haven't rewatched it. I feel like I have a Spider-Man 3 contrarian in me.
Yes!
I mean, I think it's become the default opinion of the internet now. It's just like we like it and it was actually pretty good. And I don't disagree.
It was Sony's fault for it being bad. That's like the new hotness.
Yeah, I mean, that's true too. I feel like there's certain parts of that movie that even the way people people are always like, look at this scene, and it's like, what about this scene that we never talk about because it sucks? And it's like, yeah, that scene does suck. So I feel like there's enough redeeming stuff that the movie as a like thing is more good than bad. But I do think we always conveniently forget about that jazz scene where he punches Mary Jane, or that time they both cry on the bridge for like no reason. And Harry's like, haha, I'm behind a tree. Break up with Peter Parker. But yeah,
But
I will say,
Nando,
oh, sorry. Go ahead, Diggins.
how's the pie?
It's delicious. Just that word is fucking foaming out of his mouth. It's
No. He
disgusting.
doesn't say delicious. He says so good.
Oh, okay, yeah. I remember the face. I have it in my like brain.
It's stuck.
And
there.
then Spider-Man crosses the street, looks over at him. He's there. And then a truck passes by and he's gone. And it's like, he can't teleport. He's in the restaurant still. What does it look like to the restaurateurs? Everybody's just like, why is that guy behind the pillar now?
Hey,
Is this part of a bit with that guy across the street? I think it is, because now he's coming back.
Hey, fun me fact here. That was the movie I saw on the first date I ever went on.
Oh, man.
Oh man, you want mine?
Sure.
Sure.
Well, wait. First date ever went on, or first date where took girl to movie?
I don't know. Tell us what the movie is
The
playing
first-
at the first date you ever went on that wasn't at the movies.
The first
Guess
movie
a movie
date.
that
Yeah,
might
like,
have been
wait.
showing somewhere near it.
I guess it's a good point.
The movie was the screen that you get when you hit a strike at a bowling alley because we were bowling.
I'm so dumb.
What was it? What movie was the first movie you watched
It was
on a
300.
date?
It was 300.
Oh my god, what a movie!
Yo, listen, fucking works. You want to talk about like being sexy or whatever, and like all that stuff in a movie, like being hot, but also like being horny. Fucking 300, all right. So
I mean, it's a very horny movie in a specific way. But hey, man, there's like a sex scene in there, right? He has sex with his wife for a while, so
yeah,
something. I feel like my first date movie. I don't remember this like definitively, but I know one of the early ones was the first Fantastic Four movie. I went.
that's brilliant.
Yeah, we were going to see something else, and it was sold out. And we went to see Fantastic Four 1, and she fell asleep, and then it didn't go super well after that. I blame the Fantastic Four, but also I feel like if she fell asleep for that movie, probably wasn't going to work out.
Yeah, I think you can blame him though.
Yeah, I like that movie. I feel like that's the one that we need to, have a Raimi moment on.
I was gonna say, in her defense, that movie's pretty bad.
I agree. It's definitely not very good, but also it's got a weird little 2000s charm to it. I look back fondly at it, probably just because the new one's so bad, the one that you don't think exists. It's
Fan
like-
Four Stick.
Yeah. Wait, what? They made a movie about the Fantastic Four?
No, they
And
haven't
their
made it yet. Disney owns
Oh,
the rights
okay.
now, but they haven't made a movie yet.
I will
Sounds
say,
pretty cool.
in general, I think superhero movies' first dates might be misguided. I took a girl to see the first Ghost Rider movie on a first date, and that was a bad move by me.
Wait a second.
Bad move by me.
They let you go to movies that aren't superhero movies? Are you sure? I don't think they make those anymore. I think it's all just superhero movies.
Well, it's back in 2007, man.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
that, like
Smart.
that was a way different time.
I'm trying to
We
think
didn't
of
know
it.
what we were doing.
I mean, this isn't anything related to what we're talking about, but I'm trying to think of a date movie that I saw that was like, that was pretty good. Like, that was the right kind of date movie. Remember, I went on a date to see Milk. Remember Milk?
Really?
We cried.
That's a choice.
Yeah, it was a
That's a
sad
fucking
story.
choice.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it, but also, like, it's a good movie.
for
People
you.
should watch it.
It's good.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, we got to get to a classic segment.
Oh wait. One
sorry.
more
What else we got?
Just one last thing is on the Spider-Man topic. So I know you had mentioned last time we recorded that like someone had tweeted at us like, "Oh, you should do the Raimi trilogy ahead of No Way Home." And I made a huge mistake because like I was on our Twitter account just kind of like feeling myself, and I retweeted that with like the eyes emoji, and I may have made a promise that we may or may not be able to keep because now that's what the people want, and I would feel bad not doing it, but at the same time, like it's. I made a mistake. I should have done that. I should have done that.
You're right,
I wrote
DJ.
checks that we may not be able to cash.
We've never broken a promise against the explicit
Yeah.
wishes of our audience before. We can't start now.
I feel like we could do it. I think it might make most sense to do just Spider-Man 3 or all three together. 'Cause I feel like for the first two, it'd just be like, yeah, this one's good. This scene is pretty cool. The physics don't work properly, but who gives a shit? It's pretty cool. He looks like an old man in high school, whatever. But then the third one, it's like, wait a second, what is the city even doing? Like, what do they think Spider-Man is? Why are they at the Spider-Man? Why are they there when Spider-Man's getting beaten to death? All just being like, like it's a fucking play. Why don't they help? What happened in New York being fun? I don't know. Anyway, yeah, I think we will do those though.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it depends on the run up and like what else is coming, but I feel like December wasn't super heavy. There's
we got
Kingsman and
as well.
that at the end of the year, and then I think in the weeks leading up to it, there isn't too much. Unless, are they making another Christmas Chronicles movie?
Not this year. It's a damn shame.
That could be a movie. A year without Christmas Chronicles.
I'm looking forward
Russell
to.
Crowe was too busy.
I'm looking forward to Christmas Chronicles 3. Santa Goes to Hell.
Yeah.
Santa and Kiss reunite. Save Christmas.
Fuck yeah.
So now you want to get to our classic segment?
Yeah, let's
would
do
love
it.
that.
All right, let's recommend some things. DJ, got anything to recommend to the fine people?
I do. I think I have a solid recommendation. So you guys
Excellent.
familiar with the game Cookie Clicker?
Yes.
Yeah, we talked about it on the podcast before once, and I was like, that was when I learned about it. I've never played it, but I'm aware of it.
Oh, wait. Oh, my God. Wait, did Diggins recommend Cookie Clicker on Steam?
No.
Oh, thank God. All right. So, Cookie Clicker is a great game. It's a passive game. It's on Steam now, and it's great. It's, we talk about, like, the merits of it, but it's, like, a nice passive game where you make cookies, and the more cookies, and the more cookies, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger and crazier. But, like, it's on Steam. It's, like, a nice, like, background game if you're, watching YouTube videos or, like, doing work or, like, just, like, whatever you might do on your computer. Cookie Clicker provides just, like, a nice, passive, calm game to watch your cookie empire grow into something beautiful. So I think that's great. I watched another one of the Untold Sports Stories documentaries on Netflix. This one was called, I think it was like called Pain and Punishment or something like that. It's basically about a minor league hockey team in Danbury, Connecticut that was run by a mobster. Who ran like a trash business, because mobsters, and had a
sanitation.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And had a team called the Danbury Trashers. They had a trash can for a mascot.
I like them.
Who wound up being the FBI informant against the mobster. It was the mascot for the team who did other things for the sanitation company. So it's pretty good. I think it tells the story fairly well. I don't like how it ends because it turns the mobster and the son who ran the team into good guys, which is weird because the son, fine, he may have not actually done crimes, but the mobster killed people. So I don't know why he gets to have a redemptive arc. I guess for the son's sake, but it's just kind of a weird thing.
Would more people in China have died if he wasn't killing people?
Yeah.
Can we reason out that he was actually a net positive for the community?
Yeah, I did not consider that.
Yeah, maybe.
But, so I watched that. It was pretty good. I still think it's the least strong of the Untold ones. I didn't watch the Caitlyn Jenner one. I still have to watch the Marty Fish one. But I still think the one Deal with the Devil, if I had to recommend one, I would do that because it's a true biopic and focuses on one person and is a pretty banana story. So I think the Deal with the Devil would be the one that I would recommend. And Circle Season 3 premiered, but I haven't watched it yet. But I'm sure I'll have things to say about it. But Cookie Clicker and that Untold documentary are probably the two big things. So, that's all I got.
Cool. Yeah, I haven't watched Circle 3 either. I gotta watch it one of these days, though. I haven't heard
it just came out today, so,
Nice.
You got a week to watch 4 episodes, because Netflix doesn't know how to make TV shows that make sense for release schedule, whatever.
I gotta get it together. All right, Diggins, what about you? Got anything to recommend to the fine people?
I do, yeah. Just one quick thing, which DJ may have recommended before, just because it's a very DJ recommendation. I have no memory if you did or not.
Okay, let's see.
It's a 2-player board game called Summoner Wars.
I have not, so you're good. You're in the clear.
Cool. It is like a board/card game where you and the other player take control of an army that is summoned in by a summoner. who is your main unit. And on this little board, you like move your units around and you attack. And the goal is to kill the other player's summoner.
Okay.
They recently came out with a second edition of this game, like a year or two ago, I think. So it's getting like a new life right now, and it's a lot of fun. I met up with a friend of mine who has it, and we played like 3 rounds of it, going through all the different decks they have, the different armies. And it's a really interesting tactical game that's pretty easy to learn. Like the rules are not that complicated, and the cards explain what they do, so it's not too difficult. But there's a lot of depth to it also. Like there's positioning, there's all your special powers, there's learning. You can never recycle your deck. A card that's discarded, unless you have another card that brings back discarded cards, is gone forever. And the deck is only 30 cards. So like it's not that hard to burn through all your army and then just have nothing left you can do.
Interesting. Okay.
So it's really interesting that way, that it has all these like tactical considerations. So if you are the type of person who would find oneself often playing 2-player board games, DJ,
Hey.
I think it's a lot of fun, and you could do a lot worse.
Cool. All right. And it's like you start with a set deck. It's not like a deck builder or even a deck cycler, it sounds like, because it's like a one-and-done kind of deal.
Yeah, there's an option to, if you want to, there's like designations and systems, so you could mix and match decks if you really wanted to, but it's kind of meant to be played with, these are the 6 decks, pick one of them.
I see. Okay. All right.
Cool. All right, I'm going to recommend... I said this during the show, I finished the Fear Street trilogy. I think that was pretty good. I was actually very into it, and I think most people would enjoy it. And I don't want to say too much else about it, but it's pretty clever, honestly. I'm obviously a little late on it, but yeah, that was fun. That's on Netflix, so if anybody wants to go watch that, all 3 of them are there. I've been reading a lot of comics recently. Partially just because I want to get caught up on just like some Shang-Chi stories, but also just stuff that I've been like kind of putting off for a while. So I'll say 3 recommendations. Short series is like 4 or 5 books each. I really like the 2020 Shang-Chi. So there's a 2020 and there's a 2021 run. I haven't read I read actually the first 2021 run, but the first 2020 run is kind of, it's 5 issues and it's Shang-Chi. It's just like kicking around, doing whatever. He's bumming around San Francisco, and then I forget why, but there's like some sort of conflict between the 5 Weapon Society where he kind of gets anointed the new head of it. After their dad died, but also I feel like it's not that, because his dad's been dead for a while. So I think it's like the magic, I don't know, candle just decided he was in charge now, and all the other people from the 5 Weapon Society go to help him. So there's like a Sister Dagger and a brother Saber or something. Sister Dagger's probably as close as they have right now in the comics to a character that is Xialing, though she's much younger in the books, and her name is Esme. But it's a fun story. I enjoyed it. I think it's a good, like, kind of intro to Shang-Chi. But I also read a Shang-Chi story called, I think it's just called, like, The Master of Kung Fu, but it's from maybe 2015 during the Secret Wars arc. And it's set in, like, it's set pretty much where in the city that the Man with the Iron Fist takes place in. And it's part of the Battle World Secret Wars story, so it's like an alternate reality that's kind of like the one we kind of know with some characters that you can recognize. But it's just like Shang-Chi is the drunken master, and there's a contest to take over the whole country that his dad runs, and he has to join to save everybody. And it's a really fun story. Art is great, and I feel like we've not been robbed of this, but Mortal Kombat should have been a tournament movie. And this could have maybe been a tournament movie like Shang-Chi. There were bits where you're like, oh, he's in a tournament fighting for something. Maybe that's going to be a lot of the movie, but it's not. And that's fine. But that would be a fun just like pitch for a movie if you look at this one. And there's like the Panther Society and the Fish Society or whatever Namor's one is. And there's like a guy that's Silver Surfer or whatever. So I don't know. That one's fun. other thing I read on the level of that, so the same kind of pitch where it's like an alternate universe story around the 2015s, is a series called Ghost Racers. Have either guys heard of this?
Negative.
Nope.
It's fun. It's like there's a world where all of the Ghost Riders compete in a death race every so often. So they all have what you'd kind of call their signature weapon. So like the one that's in the car, Robbie Reyes is the main character, and he's got the Charger. Johnny Blaze has a motorcycle. The other guy, Danny Ketch, has a motorcycle. And then there's like a future one. And I'm assuming, and there's the one who has a horse whose name I can't remember. I'm assuming they made a bunch of them up because there's also like a Ghost Rider T-Rex that rides a F-22 that flies around. But like, it's just it's a fun book. Ghost Rider's cool. And I very much enjoyed that. Aside from that, I haven't got my new comics this week from the store. So I don't know what's hot in the world right now, but yeah, those were all on the Marvel Unlimited app. I don't think I read anything else. Oh, on DC they have an app they have a comic running that I think might be digital only, and it's the Harley Quinn show, but like after that, so it's what would be the first and second episode of the third season, and that's fun because I don't know if we're ever even gonna get that, but if we don't, then at least
allegedly we're supposed to.
You would assume, right? I guess like DC Fandom or whatever is coming up soon, so we'll probably find out then.
We have to do a pod on DC Fandom again.
Dome it up, baby. Can't wait to see all the trailers and be like, hallelujah, finally. Or I can't wait to watch the fighting about whether or not this is or isn't Zack Snyder's vision. Whether the Snyder Cut does or does not live. I mean, did you guys see those pictures of Patrick, whatever his name is, Patrick Wilson? Speaking of ripped guys, fucking ripped.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those monsters in that monster movies he's in don't stand a chance. Not anymore. So anyway, yeah, those are some fun comics. And yeah, I know, like, I try to keep up with what the apps are doing. But a lot of the apps now, because I have DC Infinite, Marvel Unlimited, both of those have like online exclusive things. I know there's something that might get released today or tomorrow that's like connected to the Hickman X-Men stuff. So like there's so much to keep track of. But I think it's hard to open up one of those apps and not find something pretty cool. So
okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff. What are we doing next week, fellas?
Yo, great question. Do we have to put up a poll and lie? Diggins is gone, right? We have to do something that like Diggins would never do.
Yeah, or something Diggins would really like to do, and we taunt him with it.
I'm okay with either of those options. We could also
like Green Knight. We're gonna nitpick the Green Knight.
Well, I've already seen it, so
yeah.
I feel like you guys doing Jupiter Ascending while I was gone was like perfect. So, like, what's Jupiter Ascending for Diggins? He's going to Turkey. What's a movie that takes place primarily in Turkey?
Turkish Star Wars.
Let's do it. Turkish Star Wars.
Turkey Run. Is that a sequel to Chicken Run where they go to fly to Turkey? Like, it does take place in the city of Turkey, or in like the state of Turkey.
We do the short film of Alice's Restaurant, which is about Thanksgiving.
Let's see, movies in Turkey. I'm gonna Google it real quick, see if anything comes up.
I mean, we could also record something on like in a few days, just so there's something to put up that does still have me in it.
That's
impossible. True. We'll see.
I mean, there are, you know what, movies in Turkey. A couple of James Bond, like in Indiana Jones movies, end up in Turkey.
Oh man, let's do
Last Crusade
James Bond
in Turkey, and probably other movies too, but those two for sure. And Taken 2, he goes to Turkey.
Oh,
never seen a Taken movie.
Fun random movie to do.
Well, we got Venom. Well, I don't know. What else is coming up in September? Do we have anything else we can do, like a lead into?
With the Dear Evan Hansen lead in, what's a musical movie we could do?
Oh my god, fucking Cinderella!
Guys,
no, I'm
obviously
not doing it.
We do While You Were Sleeping to do the lie to a critically injured person's family about, being close to them.
That is a subgenre. We should all respect. We got the Kate movie that comes out in a few days, where it's Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
Oh, DJ wants to do that.
Hey,
yeah. We also
Does it
have
actually come out soon.
Yeah, comes out tomorrow because fuck it, Netflix doesn't tell you when movies come out.
Let's do it.
They want to surprise you. We could do that.
No joke. Like let's do Kate.
Yeah, 28% on Rotten Tomatoes. We'll have a lot to say about this one.
Oh, no,
let's go.
Kate.
That's it. It's Kate. We're doing it. We're doing Kate.
All right, there you go.
Maybe
Easy.
with Diggins, maybe without. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what the schedule's like. I feel like I'm pretty free, except for Saturday, obviously, and that means, But then after that, yeah, we'll figure it out. Anything to plug?
Same. Check out Roses and Rejections of the Pop Break Network. Breaking down Bachelor in Paradise as it wraps up, and we'll be talking about season 3 of The Circle.
Nice. Do you have a Bachelor that you want to win?
No, they're all terrible. Riley, maybe. Riley's pretty cool, but most of them are pretty terrible.
Yikes.
So, I'm not rooting for anyone except Riley, I think. And James. I love James, but he can't find love. It's okay.
What about Shang-Chi? You think he'd be a good Bachelor because he's so handsome?
No, I think the lack of sexual energy would really do him.
That's true.
That's
where all the sexual energy went. It went to The Bachelor.
Yeah.
We need to, extract it from The Bachelor and put it back into movies.
Funnel it. Yeah. That's all
Diggins, you got anything to rec? Or anything to plug? Anything to rec that you have made?
Just the usuals. My newsletter at a little perspective, that's substack.com, and I stream sometimes at twitch.tv/this is an odd name. Obviously, I will not be doing that while I'm in Turkey. That would be very difficult. So definitely not anything for the next couple weeks, but probably going to get back to it around end of September.
Sweet.
Cool. Yeah, I don't have anything either. I put out the video. That was the Wonder Woman rewrite. That was last week. And then this week, I'll probably do a Shang-Chi video. And then after that, who the hell knows? Because I don't even know what the future of this month, clearly. I don't know what movies come out this month. I don't know. Probably something about What If, maybe, eventually. You guys watched all that?
I'm not caught up, but yeah.
No, I haven't watched any of it.
Oh, my God.
Oh, watch episode 3. So good. So good.
Watch episode 3, and then just imagine all the rest. No, it's all pretty good. I don't know. It's very pick and choose. Not pick and choose. I don't want to say hit or miss, because I don't think they're good and bad. But I do think, different strokes for different folks.
Acquired tastes.
Yeah. Although, you know what else comes out? Speaking of things to talk about, Star Wars Visions comes out pretty soon.
Oh, fuck.
That
so
sick anime
excited.
show. I don't know if they're putting them out all out at once or if it's one a week or what, but very excited for that.
Finally, a trigger anime accessible to Nando.
Yeah, so far. We don't know. Maybe it's just everybody's bikini
Naked
slave
Star Wars
Leia the whole
ladies.
time. We go to that planet where they make the bikinis. I don't know. So next week, probably Kate. Almost certainly. Unless there's some crazy objection you guys have. Until then, I am at Nando V Movies on Twitter.
I'm at Zippy by Day.
I'm at This Is an Odd Name.
Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.
Bye. We love you.